Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another massive game in the international rugby weekend. France versus New Zealand. Now, we have already seen the Springboks take on England. That was a rematch from the last Rugby World Cup, and this game between these two sides, it was the opener of the last World Cup, and it was an interesting contest. The French managing to get themselves a relatively comfortable win in that game, but both of these sides very different from what we saw in that contest, and now we do get to see it again. Looking through at this French starting lineup, it will be Jean-Baptiste Grue at number 1, Pietro Malvaca at 2, and also Tavita Tatafu as the number 3. Now, they would normally have Yui Antonio, but he is out, and that is a massive hit, and it makes it very interesting to know how this first scrum will go. Tamaiti Williams in front of him, 140 kgs, two big men going at each other here. Flamand and Mia Thu will be the locking duo, with Bodian, Romar, and also Gregory Aldrit slotting in. At number 8, Antoine Dupont and Thomas Ramos will be the 19 combination. Now, Ramos normally would play 15, but in this case, he has moved into that number 10 jersey. Antoine Dupont, of course, a world-class player, probably a nominee for Rugby Player of the Year as well. He is outstanding with ball in hand. He can get that back line going, and quite a few differences in this back line compared to what we normally see. For the French, in terms of the midfield, it is Mofana and Galfiku. Out on the wings, they have got Belbari, who had a great game last week, up against the Japanese. Gabin Villiers on the other wing. And then at number 15, Bureau, a chance for him to really step up and show everyone what he can do. In terms of this All Blacks starting lineup, in the front row, it is Tamaiti Williams, Cody Taylor, and then number 3, they have gone with Tyrell Lomax. Now, they haven't made a huge amount of switches in these positions all throughout the November internationals, but no Ethan de Groot as of yet, and Cody Taylor also now returning from the head knock. Got up against the English. In terms of the temperature as well, while we're at it, at the Stade de France, it is 8 degrees Celsius, a little bit of breeze, about 14 kilometers an hour, and we are only 17 minutes away from the start. In the locking duo, it is going to be Scott Barrett, I should say. I almost said Summer Penny Finau there. Of course, he can play lock. Worst comes to worst, but Scott Barrett at number 4, Tupovai slotting in as the 5. Summer Penny Finau in the loose forward trio, alongside Adi Savia as the number 7. Something that New Zealand supporters wondered whether they would ever see again. The chance for Savia at 7, rather than that number 8, which he has made a home for himself over the last little while, but that means that Wallace Satiti now gets to play his preferred position. Now, the fact that he's done so well at number 6 when he is normally as a number 8 just tells you how versatile this young man is and how much potential he has got for the future in the All Blacks kit. But Cam Roigard and Bowden Barrett, they will be the 19 combination for this game. Geordie Barrett and Rico Ioane in the midfield. Caleb Clark, Sever Reese comes in for Mark Talia, and Will Jordan at 15. So 3 changes compared to what they had in their last game up against the Irish. They've decided to make, I guess, some necessary switches in terms of injury, but then at the same time, it could be considered just that little bit of a risk having the 9-10 combo different. Mackenzie having a man of the match performance up against the Irish side. Some people felt maybe he would get himself the start in this game. But jumping into the chat, we have got plenty of messages already. I hope you are all doing extremely well. We've got all the best All Blacks from Simran there. We have got South African here, hoping for Southern Hemisphere dominance, says JP, and really looking forward to this game, says Season. New Zealand by 15 points, says TRM. It's going to be a great game, says Slim Down Daddy. Still not sure about saying your name out loud, I'll be honest with you. But yeah, it's going to be one of those matches that on paper, both of these sides have potential on any given day of scoring 30 points. Last week, we saw France bring up 30 plus. In fact, it was a 30-point margin over the Japanese, whereas New Zealand, they had a harder fought victory over the Irish, still winning by 10 points, which is a massive, massive margin when you consider New Zealand going into that game. They were underdogs. I feel like this game, they're still slightly underdog by like half a little margin. It's $1.82 to $1.92, so easily could go either way in this contest. But I'm looking forward to seeing the result. Looking through at the benches for this game, ladies and gentlemen. For the French, they have got Julio Marchand, Redawardi, and Colombe as the number 18, Taufa Fanua and Gilliard as 20, Charles Olivon at 21. So the 6-2 split here for the French, and then Legaric and Galeton as the number 23 for New Zealand. Asafo Moa, Ofa, Tuangafasi and Pasilio Tosi. That's a combination that's worked very well for New Zealand as of late. Tuangafasi and Tosi perhaps eventually could make their way into a starting duo, and perhaps that game that we see next week up against the Italians is when we could see that become a reality. Patrick Tuipulotu at number 19 with Peter Lakai as the number 20. Cortez Ratama, Anton Leonard-Brown and Damian McKenzie, all Chiefs, and all the back replacements in this match. But those are the starting sides, and those are the reserves. Looking through at recent form for these two sides. For the French, they played last week up against Japan, getting themselves a 40-point margin, 52 points to 12. For New Zealand, they played Japan as well, and they won 64 points to 19. So more points on the board for the ABs, but also more points conceded. 2-point victory over the English and a 10-point victory over Ireland. That was just last week. So heading into this game with a 3-match winning streak at the moment for November. The voice is trying to give out. We have done, of course, South Africa versus England. That was a very entertaining game, back and forth kind of rugby, which is exactly what people are hoping to see from these two sides. Jumping into what happened in July for these two sides. New Zealand went 3 from 3 up against the English, then also up against the English. That time they won it by 7, and then up against Fiji, winning it by 42. For France, they had a little bit of a different July internationals type of tour. They won up against the Argentines. They then beat they then beat Uruguay, but then they were defeated by the Argentines 33 points to 25. Now, a very different looking French side for that matchup compared to what we see here, so we can't really base too much off that, but overall, both of these sides, they're picking up more wins than they are losses in recent times. Perhaps it could be very close between these two teams. Head high first hit up, I'm calling it. And also bring it home, All Blacks, says Emery there, and All Blacks won't win this one, unfortunately. Irish were poor, and we struggled in attacking, especially midfield. France by 5+. All Blacks have been average all year. Geordie and Rico, still terrible midfield. So I would say, from your comments, it is purely based off the midfield that you are saying the All Blacks will struggle. So that's the thing. With Beauden Barrett at number 10, it is, of course, going to be a big switch. Have you taken a break for yourself, Sachet? I have not, no. We pretty much did a review of South Africa versus England, which very recently went up. And then we are straight back into the action. But yeah, the voice is sounding absolutely awful for the start of this one. We will keep on drinking water, and hopefully it'll start working. We have got there. Oh, no, that made it worse, didn't it? And come on, All Blacks, making another win for the Southern Hemisphere, says Jacques. Good morning, Hamish. Says Daniel, welcome in. And All Blacks has to be clinical because the French is no pushover. Definitely not at home. At the Stade de France, there is going to be a lot of pressure on in those breakdowns. And that's somewhere where France really were able to dominate up against the Japanese. They were able to get those counter rucks. They were able to steal the ball. And then Balbari out on the wing. I mean, he is a superstar in the making, and he is going head-to-head with Sevu Reece here. And Sevu Reece hasn't had the best form throughout 2024. He's had a couple good games, and he's going to need a very important big game here. I'm so French, bro. Says Season there. Morning, bro. Up the ABs, says Matt John in the chat as well. But just quickly looking at what is coming up for these two sides. France next week will be playing Argentina. That could be a very entertaining game, just like Argentina versus Ireland was. And then New Zealand have Italy, and that is their last match of their 5-match series that they have had all throughout November. So it's been a pretty intense tour for New Zealand, but if they can somehow get themselves a win from this game, they will be 4 from 4 heading into that last game, which is a lot more successful of a tour for Scott Robertson than many people did anticipate. But these are all the games that are taking place next week. Like I mentioned, the two that do involve these sides, but then also South Africa versus Wales will be a game, Ireland versus Fiji, Japan versus England, Scotland versus Australia. Plenty of big matches all taking place. And also for this weekend, we've still got another game that we are doing tomorrow. We are covering Wales versus Australia. That is at 5:10 a.m. New Zealand time. So 6:10 p.m. for you guys in South Africa. Be sure to check that out. We have got there 8 p.m. in Ireland. Cold walking the doggo. And All Blacks will win this game, says Mark. And we have got there France by 6, says Neville. And good game coming up in South Africa here to support the mighty All Blacks, says Ravina. And how did the Irish feel about losing their number 1 spot, says Xander. I mean, it's a great question, but I am not Irish. So I'm probably not the one to answer. But if we got anyone in the chat, I mean, it's one of those ones that, depending on who you talk to as well, like if you look at any fan base, there will be the ones who get quite fired up on the social media side of things. But a lot of them, from what I've seen, like the Irish have just been, yep, it's happened, so now we're just going to work harder. And I feel like that's the type of mindset that gets you far. And actually is the mindset that got them up there in the first place. AB's all the way, says MTYC. Good evening from Littlehampton, UK. Says Esther, so welcome in. If you are keeping well, as I always say, Rico Ioane is a specialist winger. Should be there. Caleb Clark should be slotting into 12 or 13. Thanks for the commentating, Hamish. Have an awesome day, says Tokorao in there. And right, back at you, mate. But we are only 8 minutes away from the start of this contest, ladies and gentlemen. It's intense. The Stade de France, they always love a light show and a bit of fire before the game does take place. Hopefully we see fireworks throughout this game. Not literally, though. That would be quite dangerous. If the ABs keep the errors to a minimum, France have no chance, says Kiwi G. And hey, Hamish, have a great show, you biscuit, says Lord Rapture there. The haka, says Benoit. We are not too far away from seeing the haka as well as the national anthems. And then we're into the game. It's easy. We lost to the greatest rugby team in history, says Jimbo. And we have got there, if the ABs, I know I read that one. But yeah, in terms of the errors, the All Blacks last week up against Ireland, it was far from a flawless game, but they still managed to win by 10. 8 degrees Celsius. The wind is actually down to 7 miles an hour. I'm not going to ask your prediction on this one, says Shay. Looking forward to this. It's going to be a cracker. Thank you for your service. Says Nigel, no worries at all. The win predictor at the moment has 54% in favour of France, 45% in favour of New Zealand, and a draw is 1%. But the draw, honestly, could be a little bit higher than that. Both of these sides could be kept extremely close. And go the ABs, keeping the Southern Hemisphere flying high. McKenzie definitely better at kicking lately, but wasn't Barrett the dedicated goal kicker, says Xander. Yeah, so Beauden Barrett, he kind of is on and off in terms of whether or not he is going to be the goal kicker. Sometimes when there's someone else in the team, they will step up. I've just actually looked at the odds here, ladies and gentlemen. France and New Zealand. It is $1.87 to $1.87. It is literally identical in the odds, which is just, it's a bit crazy, to be honest with you. It could easily go either way in this game. And now the All Blacks, of course, wearing that white kit. It was mentioned earlier on in the week that normally the away side do get to wear their home strip, but France said no thank you. We will be in the blue. Broke Ireland Hearts twice, quarterfinals. The Viva 14 wins ended up by the All Blacks, says JD. The All Blacks stop DuPont, they will win, says Ali. And good luck to New Zealand, says Season. And of course, New Zealand have had a little bit more game time under their belt as of lately. They have already played 3 games. This is their 4th. This is the 2nd game for France, but a pretty similar lineup to what played last week up against the Japanese. Go the All Blacks, says Sakabula. And New Zealand by 10 at least, says David. That's the thing. There are a lot of high hopes for this New Zealand side heading into this game. DuPont versus Roygaard. Ramos versus Barrett. These type of head-to-heads that you can only really dream of, but we get to see it here in this game. Whether or not Roygaard was even going to be match fit for November was going to be the question mark earlier on when we saw that these two sides were playing off, but we get to see it as that experienced head of DuPont versus that X-factor of the young Roygaard. Keep dancing, says Season there. And you guys got to beat France, says Bradley Keane. And there's a lot on the line in terms of the rankings as well, I should mention, for this match. If France win, they will boost themselves up to, one moment, we will go like that, and we will go like that. France would boost themselves up by, I believe they would go up to 4th in the world rankings, or in fact, they already would be 4th, but New Zealand would drop to 3rd if they suffer a defeat. If New Zealand win this game, they will remain as 2nd, and if they win this game comfortably, then they will close the gap a little bit more between them and South Africa, only having it as a 25 of a decimal away. I'll try and watch on YouTube, but it keeps getting taken down. That is why we don't show the game, because any match footage or audio shown on YouTube normally does get you taken straight down. Bonjour, biscuit, says Hayden. Welcome in. Try and watch it on YouTube. Been a class watch party so far today. You're covering the games tomorrow too, man. We are covering Wales versus Australia next week. It's going to be an exciting one. And yeah, hopefully it lives up to the expectations that have been put on today's game, because of course there's been a lot of epic action between South Africa and England. New Zealand now out there on the field, though. The Stade de France, it's a bit dark on the field. Hopefully they turn the lights on before the kickoff. Rieko Ioane, 17 carries, 0 meters, 2 knock-ons. And yeah, he's going to need a big game here, Rieko Ioane. What did you think of England versus South Africa? I thought the first half was extremely entertaining. It was free-flowing, only took 44 minutes to take place. Some people said that it felt slow, but it's honestly one of the quickest halves we've seen at international level for quite some time. Amisha Kelly is a great ref. We have got the New Zealand national anthem and a singer for this game by the sounds of it. Of course, in Ireland, they didn't have a singer, and they also only played half the anthem. So it's at least a good start having someone singing the national anthem. But Wallace Atiti, he is going to be playing at number 8 for this game. We are going to show that lineup once again for New Zealand, but they have stacked their side for this contest. Tomaiti Williams, Cody Taylor, and Tyrell Lomax as the front row. Scott Barrett and Tupovai will slot in as the locking duo. Samapeni Finau, Adi Savia, and Wallace Satiti in the loose forward trio. Cam Roigard and Bowden Barrett at 9 and 10. 2 changes compared to what we saw last week when it was Ratama and McKenzie, Geordie Barrett, Rieko Ioane, and Severis out on that wing. Caleb Clark on the left. Now, the reason that I had him separate was because he is going up against Gabin Villiers, who is a French player who at times has struggled to find form, but I just have a feeling he's going to have a massive performance in this contest. And then Will Jordan at number 15 to close out this All Blacks starting lineup. For the French, in their starting side, it will be Jean-Baptiste Grue at number 1, Pietro Malvaca at 2, and then at number 3, it is Davida Tatafu, no Yui Antonio for this one, but Tatafu still a world-class prop. For France, Flamand and Miafu in the locking duo with Bodien, Rumar, and Aldrit slotting in at number 8. Antoine Dupont and Thomas Ramos, that is the danger zone for this French side. If they are able to get the ball through their hands all day, it's going to be a hard day at the office for New Zealand. But if they can shut down Ramos, of course he's used to playing 15, and normally with that he has more space to work with. But if he isn't able to really get that backline functioning, that's where New Zealand, I think, could win this game. Mofana Fiku in the midfield, and then Belbari, Villiers, and then Burach gets himself their debut at 15. And that's a massive step up for the Bordeaux player. It's going to be tough. It sounds like they are doing a rendition of the French national anthem a cappella at the moment at the Stade de France. And come on, the All Blacks, says Johannes, and Chislin, king of all trades, says Daniel there. And their national anthem. Yeah, it's quite the atmosphere. And the crowd just loving this game, loving the fact that they get to witness it at the Stade de France. But yeah, a very nice rendition of the French national anthem. But of course, the haka is just around the corner. Then we are into this match, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, I've got my volume turned down and it was loud. So must have been loud at the ground. And for some of these young guys, I mean, Basilio Tossi, this is his first year as an All Black. Wallace Satiti in the same boat. We have got the hello everyone, says Clarence in there. Welcome in. We love you, says Season. And also Team New Zealand and the chat as well. But the haka about to take place. Then we are ready to go for this matchup. Go All Blacks. Yes, says Reed. And Southern Hemisphere putting up North. To shame won't lie. And the only Southern Hemisphere side to lose a game so far has actually been Argentina. And that was by a narrow margin too. So, you know, it's been impressive what they've been able to do. All the touring sides heading north. It's just whether or not that can continue a little bit later on. Wales versus Australia, of course. Going to be a tough one. And Balbari is rapid. He has got pure speed. Paced for days. Speed to burn. And Severis, out of everyone in that All Blacks backline, I think it's his defence that I'm the most concerned about for this All Blacks team. Adi Savia fired up here. His first opportunity at 7 for quite some time in a starting lineup. That is because of Sam Cane being in the side. What stadium is this being played at? Just asking, it is at the Stade de France. So, Paris. Show me what you mean, says Seasoned. And Epic, where is you from? Says Season 2. Team New Zealand, come on. Let's play hard tonight. We can do it. A win is a win, says Nicholas. And the silence is awesome. Love the respect the French are showing. Going to be a real humdinger. Well, that's the thing. Like, it was a cappella national anthem, so we know how loud the crowd can be, but just pure silence at the moment from, I don't even know how many it is, maybe 60,000 in attendance. And it's just such a weird feeling to hear pure silence here. And now the crowd makes some noise. But yeah, that was the most quiet haka we have heard, I think, of 2024. I mean, the Japanese crowd were pretty close in terms of the quietness, but a pure sign of respect from this French team. Both of these sides want to go out there and put on a show for this crowd and for the nations watching. It's a big game. If it's going to be close, I have that feeling like we're going to go down to the wire. My original prediction was a little bit too maybe one-sided in favour of New Zealand, but it's going to be 80 minutes of all-out action. Heck yeah, Hamish, come on. Put that in my book, Chiric. French people respect the haka, says the French pill. And there as well, the English had no respect when the ABs did the haka. I don't think the Pommies know what respect for the game is. Says Xander, massive entertainment, says Seasoned, and also go the All Blacks. So yeah, the big talking point for the All Blacks is that loose forward trio, the reshuffle. Fee now moves back into the starting side after a standout performance up against the Japanese. Satiti back to 8, in which he did play up against Japan, and then Savia at 7. We have got there, how's the weather conditions? It is 8 degrees Celsius, no sign of rain, and about 9 miles an hour of wind. Maybe a little bit slower. And that was beautiful for this Bok to see. Cell phone light's so cool. And it seems like it was a showcase of who made the haka famous. Says Mr. Orlin and France are favourites. They will crush them. Well, fun fact, at the moment on the betting odds, these two sides are an even split. No one can be separated. If anything, more late money has gone on to New Zealand in recent time. Will Jordan starting at 15. Not against Thomas Ramos in terms of that 15 jersey, though. It is the youngster, Romain Bureau. I say youngster, I think he's like 27. Still young in terms of the world of rugby. Perfect conditions for rugby, exactly right. Referee in charge of this one, it will be Amashikeli. You need 22 South Africans to beat the New Zealanders, says MTYC. So where's the other player come from? Because you got 23, so I guess you just have one extra for fun. And no way is this ref's name Roman. Poor France, says Mr. Orlin, and ABs will never do well in white. I mean, all we got to do is look back at my Rugby Challenge career mode days. I was absolutely shocking wearing the white kit. Lineup guide, says Jay. We have been through them twice, but we will go through them in a very short moment. First of all, though, we'll get through the first few phases as Thomas Ramos now kicks us off for this match. Oh, miscommunication at the back from, I think it was Will Jordan and Rico Ioane, both trying to catch that ball, and that one has not found touch from New Zealand. Now Bureau runs forward, chopped out low from Samapeni Finau. On the halfway line here for the home side. Got to see physicality early from New Zealand to match up with some of the big French forwards. Our French, a lot of injuries, pity. Yeah, it is a shame that they haven't quite got the same lineup that we would have expected had it not been for a few of those injuries going through the gap now for France. And here comes the big man, Tatafu. Now off to the left, this is danger. Out wide, cross kick, Balbari fires it back on the inside. And already France are 15 metres out from New Zealand's line. Dupont goes across now into the midfield where Flamand was waiting. Dupont to the short side again. New Zealand have to make sure they stay onside. Dupont, the ringmaster, looking both ways here, trying to find that gap. Scott Barrett makes the tackle 10 metres out from his own line. That's a drop ball from France. and a reprieve in pressure, and Tatafu has stayed down with an injury, and Satiti has been knocked out. Or has he? No, it's Finau maybe. Okay, I think Finau's eaten Tatafu's knee. So I think Finau's going to be gone from this game, and Tatafu might be the same situation. But then we have to look at the All Blacks bench. Who have they got? Peter Lakai. We might see another reshuffle. Savia will go back to 8. Satiti might go to 6, and then Lakai gets 7. But that is the last thing that you want up against a physical side like the French. And of course, the French don't want to lose that prop early on. So we're going to wait to see exactly what happens in terms of those switches and whatnot. But Finau, I think he'll have to take his time getting back to his feet. He was pretty wobbly. Peter Lakai to 7, Satiti 6, Savia to 8, says Gregor. And that is another combo that some people thought we were going to see for this match. Now that sounds interesting, says Gregor. And that was nasty. And he doesn't look steady on his feet. Yeah, I think he'd really struggle to come back. But Coloma is also ready to come onto the field for Tatafu. Yeah, now, Finau's not good. I think his nose is busted up here. Unless that's how it always is. But it looks like it's slightly to the side. But he's being held up by 2 medics. So, he's not good. Peter Lakai makes his way onto the field. He went for the high five from Finau. Finau just had his arms down, just walking off. So, he not good. He's not going to be returning. But Peter Lakai now expected to do 79 minutes up against the French. That's a test for a youngster. That is for sure. But yeah, he's been held up. He's not going to be able to continue in this game for now, which is a massive shame because, like I said, he did well up against the Japanese and sadly won't get the chance here. Yep, bring on Lakai. Oh, that's how it's always been, says Herman. Reese must prove himself today. That is true. But first scrum of the day already. After 2 minutes, and already we have seen one change. Now, Tatafu has continued to stay out there on the field. Broken nose. Well, I can't guarantee that's not how his nose normally is. But to me, it looked like it was just slightly off. But the ball's gone in. Roigard back to Geordie Barrett, who, of course, has that long boot. More Hurricanes on the field now, and that is a great kick from Geordie Barrett. Gets a good 50 on that, if not 60. Unlucky for Samapeni, not good. We're going to see, oh, no, he's got, that's the back of the head almost that he's taken. Now, that is illegal in the UFC for a reason. So, yeah, unfortunately just ducking his head ready to make the tackle and got the knee as clean as a whistle. So you can understand why he stayed down, and he's probably got a headache at the moment. But now, thrown in by Pieto Mauvaka, stolen by New Zealand at line-out time, and Roigard has managed to control it. A bit scrappy in the breakdown, but now it is on the side of the All Blacks. That classic white kit that isn't so classic, but could be if they win this game up against the French. Now Roigard 40 metres out from the line going to the left-hand side. Scott Barrett drives hard at the French defence, and they have to try and keep this tempo going because Tatafu is struggling. Loose ball and great aggression shown by the French to get this ball back. Now Antoine Dupont looking for that gap, goes to Ramos, who finds Fiku off the wing for Clark, but a good hit coming in from Wallace Satiti. Back to the halfway line, knock on from Aldrit, the pass was off. Now Roigard tries the kick in behind him, don't know whether that was the best option, but now running forward, here comes Geordie Barrett, who's hit hard by Reda Wardi. In fact, this time a Jean-Baptiste Grue, and the penalty goes the way of New Zealand. 4 minutes in, though. New Zealand get the first penalty of this game. Never dull when these two clash. Exactly right. They're going to be playing at a quick tempo. Already we have seen that throughout the first 4 minutes. But yeah, Tatafu's knee I don't think's great because he's just tried to get back up after making a tackle and really struggled back to his feet. But the French don't want to have to make that change early as well because or else then you're expecting your replacement prop to do 80 or 75 minutes or so. What's this ref name? I keep forgetting his name. All I know is he's from Georgia, so it is Roman Amashikeli. There's the name there. Now Bowden Barrett skip past to Savia. Look for the quick hands to Ioane, but it's going to be dropped by New Zealand. I think that was a knock-on. Yes, it was. They have now called it. And will be a French scrum on the halfway line. And Bulla Hamish says, Futfidi, welcome in. Hope you are doing extremely well. Wish I paid the TNT month of rugby, says Graggle. Hello from Ireland. Padraig O'Brien here. How you been doing, lads? Hamish and Geza. Have you been Ireland before? I have not been to Ireland before, no. My auntie went to Ireland and then she broke her ankle. So then she had to go home. So that's about the extent of the family in Ireland. And good ref, I like his style and drop ball. Says Jack, yeah, a lot of scrappiness early on in terms of those handling errors. But I think that is just down to the line pressure as well that we're seeing. Finau no arms, copped a big knee. Well, he didn't really get a chance to wrap his arms because by the time he did, his knee had already connected with the top of his head. So, yeah, he went low, but he dropped his head too far. So then, it was always going to be an ugly one, no matter what part of him hit. He could have gotten crunched, could have ended up with anything, but just a really bad judgment to drop the head as far as he did. NZ says Finn there. Oh, penalty, upgraded. So it was going to be a reset, but got a call from the assistant referee. Going to be dropped. You psychic Hamish, says Geza. And when penalty, please tell us what the infringement was, as we cannot see but hear. Refs give penalties for fun. Yeah, so that one was the far side for collapsing in that scrum to Mighty Williams. He still hasn't quite found his rhythm. In fact, no, it was the far side, not Williams. I think it was Lomax actually went down to a knee. And I am good luck to your teammates, says Gerald. And he thought the big prop was a Super Rugby fly half. Not to tackle, Finau, rookie mistake, damn. Yeah, it's cost him the game, and it's probably cost him next week as well. Thomas Ramos from 50 metres out will be going for the first kick of the day. He's normally extremely accurate, and that does not change here. It's going to be over from him, 3-0 now for France. Congrats on 60k subscribers, Hamish. Richly deserves, says Russell. Thank you very much, mate. It is greatly appreciated you all being here. Speaking of being there, Yui Antonio in the stands watching on for this game. Have you ever been to Cape Town? I have not, no. Is this an artificial turf? Looks like it doesn't grip much for a scrum. I think it might just be the late night as well, or the evening start. It could be quite dewy out there on the field. Nicely taken by Rumat. Currently 27 metres out from their own line. DuPont trying to pick what side it is. What did Ethan do wrong? It was a disciplinary issue, and I have no idea what it was, but he's stayed out for a long time. Fiku has been copping lots of criticism from the French fans recently. From what I've seen, so I should be interested to see how he goes. Running this one forward now. It's going to be Will Jordan straight at Rumat. Back across there. Nice looping play. Cam Roygar. Wide cutout pass. It goes over the top to Xavier in space, and he just sits down Thomas Ramos. But Dupont trying to get that turnover, not able to do so. Roygaard now to Barrett. Skip pass again. Finds his brother Scott, who are 35 metres out now, and an advantage for offside against the French. Barrett sells the dummy and is lined up by Jean-Baptiste Grue. Now Williams and behind to Jordan. Beautiful pass to Vai, who gets the skip pass away. Caleb Clark with Xavier on his outside. All out pace coming from the New Zealand attack. Peter Lakai, he will go over on his starting, well, it's not starting debut, it's pretty much, isn't it? But Peter Lakai getting in the action early and scoring himself the try. I got a little bit excited about that, just because Peter Lakai, he's a guy who I've been wanting to see in the All Blacks kit for quite some time. He's definitely the bolter who should have made it into the team initially as well, but Xavier down the wing at 7. Lakai scores the try. Great power shown to get over the line as well here, but all of the players in that move had to step up. We saw a nice draw and pass from Clark. We saw an offload from Tupovai. And Hardy running it out wide, says Rodney there. And yeah, go the All Blacks, says Nigel. And great team try. Yeah, 7 or 8 players all involved in that build-up. Now New Zealand taking the lead. Is he better than Karefi? Depends on what aspect. I think he's a better... Oh, Bowden only just getting that one over, but that will make the score now 7 points to 3. Hamish, you biscuit, says Ruan Nell. I feel like that's going to become a thing now, isn't it, after that last one? But tell you what, Xavier was just breaking through everybody who was in front of him. But yeah, I think that Duplessis Karefi in the breakdown, you probably give him the advantage. Discipline-wise, I'll give it to Lakai, who's off, says Ali. So we saw Samapeni Finau go off for the early injury, And now we're going to see Colum going off as well. All right, Lakai, the man. Yeah, get excited, Hamish. Good to show some emotion. Give the listeners more of a feel for the game, says Jim. Yeah, just a really, really strong team move from New Zealand, coming from a mistake from France as well. As Artie at 8 and Lakai at 7 with Finau off, I assume so. Either that or Lakai may have just gone straight into 6. But yeah, looks like it's going to be the end of Tata Fu. Massive shame. It's going to give him that big opportunity, show what he could do in that tight head prop role. Artie Savio ran over Dupont. Says Blues Nate, he ran over about 3 of them. Now it's going to be kicked high. New Zealand taking it inside of their 22. Great low tackle made by Balbari. Now Roygard across to Wallace Satiti with the pick and go, and over the ball straight away. The French replacement Colum does get the penalty. He's only been on the field maybe 25 seconds. Oh, one of the French players throwing the ball at the All Blacks' head. A little bit of scrappiness already out there on the field as Artie at 8. And I read that one, didn't I? Alakai has a lot more potential than Duplessis Karefi, says Ali. Okay, so it's for not releasing the ball. The referee's got to call over the French and say, stop throwing the ball at their head. We don't need that. This game is physical, says Tyler. Right, I think it's going to be a kick for the corner by the looks of this. Yes, it is. France have gone aggressive. You don't normally see that this early on in a game. Definitely not in a match as big of a feel as this. But Pieto Malvaka throws it in. Well timed from New Zealand to come down. Oh, Tyrell Lomax almost struck him in the face. You got to be careful. Oh, turnover here for New Zealand. I'm not sure how they ended up with that ball in the rolling maul, but now France are retreating, and it's a big kick from Barrett. France tried it, and it didn't pay off. New Zealand defend with all your might. You prefer biscuit with gravy or dry? Well, a biscuit here in New Zealand is something different. Like a biscuit for us is like a cookie. So like we don't really dip our cookies in gravy. Not that I know of anyway. They normally, like some people dip it in milk. That's a big shot on Romar. France in position again, 40 metres out from New Zealand's line. Dupont looking both ways, sends it to the left here, finds Jean-Baptiste Grue. Over the ball though to Mighty Williams, and he wins the penalty again. We've spoken about Peter Lakai, under 20s ABs, NPC and Super Rugby, outstanding lad, says Blues Nate. Yeah, and I'm glad he's getting the opportunity. Of course, I'm not happy that it's because of Samipeni Finau taking a head knock, but I think that giving him like a full, what's he got, 78 minutes here, that's going to really help him as a player. Definitely as a younger guy as well. Like, we've seen what it did for Wallace Satiti. But the low tackle made by Peter Lakai to then roll away, and then that's when Mighty Williams got in there to get that turnover. Cody Taylor now with the line-out throw. Nicely claimed by Wallace Satiti, throws it to Roygard, cross to Reese, Barrett, quick hands to Lakai, does fumble that one. But it does still fall on the side of the All Blacks. Bowden Barrett goes to Rico Ioane, Will Jordan passes on the outside, Clark just manages to stay in the field of play, nice bit of work, walking the tightrope there. Barrett with the inside ball to Tupovai. Pick and go, round the side from Artie Savia. Roygard looking to the short side. Numbers there, but doesn't use them as they ran out of space. Only 5 metres from the sideline. Clark goes back infield. Finds Wallace Satiti. 10 metres out from France's line here, up to 5 phases. Peter Lakai with another carry. The last time he touched the ball down this end of the field, he scored a try. Satiti trying to go through, and great tackle made on him by Meafu. Didn't mean to rhyme that. Tupovai. Hit hard by Bodian. That certainly doesn't rhyme. Now Roygard, a lot of pressure coming in the breakdown, so Roygard has to go with a pick and go. Again, Clark, great defence from France, not budging, not allowing New Zealand to go through. They're hoping New Zealand will try that backline movement, continue to force them back. Now Peter Lakai with a pick and go, sold the dummy as if he was going to go for it. Colum trying to get back on the ball, and he almost, he does get the penalty. Bit of a mistake from the youngster. They just didn't end up with any extra men carrying, or at least joining that breakdown. And Colum, that's 2 in a row that he has managed to win. 2 within about 6 minutes. We have got there, thanks for the top commentary, says Faisal, and I don't know about dipping cookies in gravy. No, I'm not sure it would ever catch on. I don't even know what that would be like. I don't. Maybe it's a dream combo that no one's tried. Cookie in a cup of gravy. Science experiment time. Someone will do it by the end of the live stream, surely. And Lakai should be the first pick for that 7 instead of Sam Kane. Says Zion. And kia ora whānau, says Patrick Jones, welcome in. Now Pieto Malvaka with another line-out throw here. New Zealand putting the pressure on, and Vai's got another. That is now 2 that he has managed to steal. Wallace Atiti almost had that ball stripped from his hands. Bowden Barrett back across to Geordie. Flat ball. And it's another loose ball, but the penalty goes the way of New Zealand for no clear release. Kia ora G, says Royal. Cookie and fish paste. And I hate to see injury so early, or at all to be fair, says Jazzing. Yeah, both sides already suffering one. The knee injury of Tatafu, and then that head knock of Samapeni Finau. A good time for short chips, says Mr. Orlin. 2 lineouts, 1 says Gregor, and why the AB's not wearing the black. So pretty much, normally the away side do get their home strip, but France said we want blue. So New Zealand were told you have to wear your alternative strip. So yeah, that's pretty much the reasoning behind it. Normally the home side would allow an away side to wear it, but France said no. Cody Taylor, now ready to throw this one in. A short line out, well claimed by Tupovai again here. They're only going to be 20 metres out from the line. Short ball to Peter Lakai. Has Cody Taylor on his shoulder. Meafu trying to get over that breakdown now. Roygaard looking to the short side. Feel like something wide is coming soon. They've got numbers to the left. Here comes Roygaard off to Cody Taylor, who drops his head and drives. Roygaard again to Barrett this time. Cut down at the kneecaps, and the penalty there for in off the feet against Artie Savia. I can say hi to James Dowling. Shout out to you, James. And come on, the All Blacks, all Southern Hemisphere going 100% wins. I guess Argentina don't count in that case, because they did lose to the Irish. That's a big kick downfield from France. Is it going to go dead? It keeps rolling. And oh, that was close to Dupont getting a hand on it. They may just have to check this one. Okay, if this kick has gone dead, they're going to go right back. But if Dupont, no, Roygaard forced it. He knew that he had to. Or sorry, it was actually Will Jordan, so it will be the goal line dropout. And Will Jordan put his hand up straight away and said, yep, it was me. But it wasn't going to go dead in the time that it took for Antoine Dupont to get there. Now 22 dropout for the Kiwis. Shout out to Alan. There, have you tried McDonald's chips and McDonald's ice cream? Apparently it's good. I have not, but I've heard of a lot of people who have done it. And like, I don't think I'd try it. Like, I'm not even one of those people who put a chip in my burger. Even though, like, that's also good. Oh, that's a big shot coming in on Gregory Aldred. Now short ball popped up into the hands of Kalum. Down short side. Roygaard trying to put some pressure on Antoine Dupont. Oh, Reese has managed to regain, and tell you what, he got lucky because or else he probably would have gotten a deliberate knockdown. He's kicked it in behind. Bowden Barrett chasing after it. They're in the 22 now. Balpari gets through his attempt. Now running up the middle, but he's shut down by Reese, or is he? He got bumped off there. And All Blacks win, I hope. Geez, Jordan was sharp there, says Jimbo. Now back across into the pocket. Thomas Ramos will look for the clearing kick down the middle of the field. At the back, running onto it. It is going to be, I believe it's Will Jordan. Yes, it is, trying to go through, and he is hit in a very solid tackle. 40 metres out now. Barrett, he had Lakai with him, smashed backwards by Meafu. There's one thing that both of these sides cannot be criticised of in the early stages of this game, and that is bringing physicality. Both have gone for the big hits when they can. Peter Lakai, or in fact, no, it's going to be Tupavai. He goes to Tamaiti Williams, who scampers his way through a gap. The ball is out the back, though. No one protecting it, but Vai gets back in and gets the steal. Then Aldrich gets over the ball and wins the penalty. It's just back and forth between these two teams. And every breakdown is a contest. Both sides trying their absolute best to keep that ball in hand and keep commentary going, but flick your cam to the game. so we can watch as well. It says, Steve, sadly, YouTube would take me straight down. In that case, you try put a garage pie in a bun, as you don't mess up your car with pie flakes. Why don't you just eat it not in the car? Just an idea. But, I mean, it certainly would stop the crumbs, wouldn't it? All the pastry parts falling down. But great run forward from Mighty Williams. Got fed through the gap perfectly. Okay, that's probably a little bit lucky because I think Bureau, in the process of him leaving the breakdown, he actually took the ball with him on the ground. France in possession now. Ramos goes across to Aldrit again. Great low tackle made from Peter Lakai. New Zealand went for a bit of a counter ruck there, but can't quite get it. Dupont with the cross kick. Reese off his wing. Barbary puts the grubber in behind and it's gone into touch. Well handled by Will Jordan there. I believe he's managed to get that leg in the way and bump it into touch. Argentina lost, so supporting France in this game, but we see Barbary, yeah, nicely done by Will Jordan, looking like a football goalkeeper. Hamish is the biased comms guy ever, says Josh. And there as well. But now Pietro Malvaca. Great opportunity for the French to get an attack going. Only they're rolling Maul is strong, but once again, almost stolen by New Zealand, and there was a knock-on by France. And again, that is the chance gone. Lakai scored. He did indeed. Peter Lakai moved into the starting side pretty much because of the fact that we saw the early injury of Samapeni Finau. This game feels like it could explode any minute now. Yep. Yeah, it's got that feeling like there'll be a line break and then it's all on for young and old. I meant most non-biased. Hamish, what's your favourite snack? Surely biltong. We actually did a video on another channel trying biltong, but I don't think we got the good biltong, unfortunately. Like, it was a bit rough. We've had 27 minutes already for 21 minutes. So that's what I was saying about for England versus South Africa. Went very, very quick for that first half. Only a 44-minute one. Now, getting ready to feed this ball in. Cam Roygaard. How closely matched are us and France? Hamish, the best comms ever, says Josh. Extremely close. Like, the fact that both of these sides, betting-wise, were even at the start of this match tells you how close people feel this game will be. But a big scrum coming from the All Blacks and to Mighty Williams. The referee's going to say play on by the looks of it. Roygaard being disrupted there by Antoine Dupont. And the referee says there was too much wheeling, so they'll go back for the restart. But it did look like the French front row did pop up. Rassi will get the three-peat. Lockin, I love your name. And breathtaking, says Jimbo. And there as well. Both players in the scrum just ready to go yet again here. At the moment, 62% possession. And like they've just said, both front rows willing to stand up a little bit longer just to get a bit of a breath in for how quickly this game has been going. As Lakai 6 or 7, I'm not actually too sure. I think they're packing him as a 6 in the scrum, so I think he's just playing blindside, which he has done in the past for the Hurricanes as well as the Lions, so it's not hugely out of the question for him to play as a 6. How far out is New Zealand then, says Gregor. At the moment, New Zealand, in terms of the positioning of the scrum, it's on their own 22. And they do get the penalty now at scrum time. 61k subs by the end of the game, says Jazzing Panda. Not too sure. It might be a bit of a stretch, but we can certainly try. Anyone who is new, of course, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We're currently 800 or so away, so it's a bit of a job to get there, I would say. Williams doing job in the scrum, says Rodney. Bowden Barrett now doing his job to kick that ball into touch. Let's get Hamish to 80k subs, says Josh. Yeah, Cody Taylor's popped up there in the middle with Pietro Malvaca. And yeah, they're not happy at the moment, the AB's front row. Nicely taken by Tupove. The All Blacks line out certainly has the advantage at the moment in the early stages. Savia tackled on the halfway line. Roygaard back across to the right-hand side and behind Barrett. I think both Barretts got their hands on the ball there. Wallace Satiti. 45 metres from the French line. Barrett went to Ioane. Now again, Roygaard fires it across to Geordie Barrett this time. Short ball to Artie Savia to make a couple extra meters. The knees are down, so they do have to release. I think Ramos is going to be asking for a penalty, but it doesn't look like he's going to get it. He's saying he was tipped up. Now Roygaard back into the pocket again, finds Jordan to Mighty Williams. Already a lot of running meters for the big Crusader. Moving up to the halfway line, and at times they've just looked like they don't know how to get through this French defensive line. Here comes Artie Savia, sold as if he was going to kick, charging forward. But Aldred, almost onto the ball. Roygaard going for that little kick in behind, and that is a very smart kick from a young player. It won't be the 50-22, but France, they have had struggles at line-out time. I just heard the blow of the whistle. Are we going to have this one checked that Geordie Barrett did on Thomas Ramos, perhaps? It's Avi up for a bit of running. Well, that's the thing. As a 7, normally you do see a lot of runs, whereas for Sam Cane throughout the whole rugby championship, I think we saw him run 10 metres. What do you think of Scott Amish? Oh, he almost stole that one. Scott Barrett, I think he's come a long way in the last few games. In terms of the rugby championship, start of it, he wasn't in the best form, but a couple good games up against the Aussies and has continued to build. That's going to be a knock-on here from New Zealand. Oh, Dupont might have an injury here. He doesn't look too flash, maybe a rib or something. Stupavai was going to help him back up, and Ramos pushed him. Roygaard is brilliant, says Louis. And he can't get him the number 1 commentator over Sky, says Josh. It is Beauden Barrett playing. He certainly is. He's playing at number 10, but yeah, Dupont does not look too happy at the moment. Bit of a rib injury. I'm not sure who got the hit in from New Zealand. We're about to see it, though. It was a step from Pieto Malvaka. Oh, I think it was just Roygaard. I think just joined that breakdown. And Dupont would be a huge loss for France. And it says Gregel. Seeing Savia there. What's the crowd booing about? Oh no, it's the Tupavai one. How he hits him in the ribs. The crowd are not happy about it, but he's a part of that ruck. The commentators there just saying there is nothing illegal about what happened. Geordie Barrett doesn't look too happy about something as well. Okay, Scott Barrett just confirming things when it comes to the line out as well. And what they're booing, they don't like that Dupont got hit in the ribs. But he did put himself in a position to get hit in the ribs, unfortunately. He was just on the wrong side of the ruck. And it was almost a rolling maul, so Vai joined it as a maul. As the ref being manipulated by the crowd, he could have been, but to his credit, he stayed strong and said there's nothing wrong with it. Opinions on Beauden McKenzie 10-15 split. Has it been done? Can't remember. I think in the rugby championship before, it might have been in July actually, we saw McKenzie 10, Beauden 15. And Cam Roygaard says Peter in there. What happened was probably a misunderstanding. Calm down, crowd, says Josh. And now it's going to be the scrum feed here. 22 metres out from their own line. And once again, we're going to have another scrums standing up. The scrums are a big problem at the moment, it would seem. Both sides not really willing to stay steady. Okay, Amasha Kelly's just said, it's very simple. Sort your shoulders out. 26 minutes in already for this game. It is absolutely flying by. Wasn't a Dupont angled enough to be vertical? Says Blues Nate. I think there was Ramos that you're thinking of a couple breakdowns before. Another pamper for Dupont, says Jacques and Antoine Dupont. Not as good as Cheslin Colby. Colby should be ranked the best player on earth. Says Lock in there. But now chance for Antoine Dupont. Big, massive push here from New Zealand. Looking for the counter. Loose ball. Roygaard steals it and scores the try for New Zealand. And he has just stolen it out of the hands of Gregory Aldred. I think they're going to check this one just to make sure it is all good. But 26 minutes in, Roygaard may have just got himself a big try there. Yeah, jumps on Eldred and then just rips it clean when Eldred was going for the offload. And Roygaard takes it 12 points to 3, New Zealand up at the moment. This is a great start for New Zealand. But you just get that feeling that France are going to fire back soon. Who's the ref, by the way? It is Amasha Kelly of Georgia. I said he's brilliant, says Louis, and that kick has gone over from Bowden Barrett to make the score now 14 points to 0. Pole was Kirtley's disallowed try. Keep in mind momentum and camera angle. I was run deep. I was run deep. Am I an idiot? Mince, says bystander. All I'll say about that one is we've seen ones that have gone further backwards than that be called forward, and we've seen ones that have been further forward than that not be called. So it just depends on the day. Like for me, without starting anything too major, I do think there could have been more effort to look like he tried to pass it backwards, because he kind of just went with the non-spiral pass, which does always look worse in a forward-pass scenario. So, yeah, it's one of those ones. It could have gone either way. It didn't affect the result at all in terms of the game. Like, South Africa still won by 9. That's a good run back coming from Bureau. Now Antoine Dupont bumps off Cam Roygaard. Finds the offload to Bodient. Moves up towards that 22-metre line of the ABs. A new sheriff in town, his name is Roygaard, says Rodney, although France looking to answer straight back with a try of their own. Dupont on with the wide cutout pass. All Jordan's knocked that one on, but it will just be a knock on, seeing as he got 2 hands to it. Okay, Antoine Dupont is saying it should be something more. So it's going to be the scrum. I think Dupont wants the deliberate knock on as the score 14-0. Board says 12-3, so it is 14-3. At the moment, oh, that's a good referee cam. Almost ran straight into it. A French attack is normal. Defence is slowly exposing. All Blacks up for this. Let's go, says Brendan. And it's a fair game, I think, says Josh. All Blacks looking good. Keep it going, boys. But yeah, it was a genuine attempt to try and catch that ball above his head. Got the 2 hands up for it. And probably lucky in some regards that he didn't catch that one there. Now, 30 minutes in. And what's the 3 refs' names, by the way? One of them is Matthew Carley. Amasha Kelly is the main ref. And then on this near side, I think it's the Italian fellow. I think. I can only see the bald head from the back. Spot not steering his team, says Jimbo. Roygaard is becoming my favourite player, and cheers to the Kiwi lads. I'm listening to your commentary in Australia. Love it, says Mike, and we are going to be covering Australia versus Wales tomorrow night on the channel as well. So anyone who is new, of course, be sure to hit that subscribe button. But we have got ourselves another scrum reset here for these two sides. I don't care what you say, let's go the All Blacks. And France, new attack coach after the World Cup, simply isn't as good as Lebert was. And well, these refs are non-biased fair, and well done them, says Josh. And go the All Blacks, says Jimmy Duplessis. 22 metres out from the line here, a great attacking chance for the French. Still with plenty of time to work in this half. It's a good push from New Zealand, once again forcing the French slightly backwards, but Dupont gets the ball out. Ramos, shut down by Barrett, gets back to his feet, and he's shut down again by Peter Lakai. Now Barrett rushing forward. Makes the tackle on Bodient. That, of course, being Bowden. Shimbatis grew. 22 metres out. Galfiku with the pick and go, but Lomax got in there. Oh, Barrett almost played the ball on the ground, that time being Scott, but that should have been self-explanatory, as anything in the breakdown normally is Scott's department. Now Dupont goes across there to Kalum, who's had a great start since making his way off the bench. Dupont again up to Miathu. Tackled by Savia. Pick and go from Pietro Malvaca. Looked like it could have been a knock-on on the ground there. Almost a neck roll on Artie Savia, but pops up out of it. 5 metres from the line. Dupont sells the dummy. Goes short to Jean-Baptiste Grue. Now again, rolling around the side there for France. It's going to be hard to get that ball out. But it is now there. Dupont going across to Ramos. Wide open space. Bureau pins his ears back and scores the try for France. And they are now back into the contest. But Buros, 32 minutes into this game, and France have now got themselves on the try sheet. And a lot of pressure coming there from France on attack. The crowd absolutely loving that one. Game on, says Andre. A big two-man tackle there. Going to see that one. Oh, no, they didn't show the one of Savia in that breakdown. But luckily, the French player did get off him before he pulled him down for that roll. There, I said it was never dull when these two sides clash. And also we have got there, okay, New Zealand, I hit back, get a try. And that one's gone over, making the score now 14 points to 10. Still with 5 minutes, in fact 7 minutes remaining in this first half. Like I've said, Bill Rossi's had to wait a long... Oh, tell you what, he slammed his face on the ground hard enough. Gotta be careful slamming it like that, you'll go off for an HIA. 4 points difference. New Zealand kicking off, and something fell off, or feels off. Here's Mr. Allen. Now kicking off, outside of the 22, well taken by Bodian, who has a good leg drive. Looks like the AB's got their groove back, says Vitamin Green. Like to hear New Zealand get another try before halftime, please, thank you. Says Gregel. Now Dupont, sending it downfield on his left slipper. Taken at the back by Will Jordan, who loves to run the ball at the opposition. Gets it across to Caleb Clark, who runs just as hard. Roigard, halfway line here for New Zealand in the centre of the field. Tamaiti Williams hits it up again. Bowden Barrett in behind to Geordie. Out to Wallace Satiti. He's got Reese with him, who really hasn't had too many opportunities to carry the ball throughout this game as of yet, but now they are going short side. Roigard snipes, finds the offload to Barrett, shut down by Balbari. Hit him quite nicely. Almost an underhook if you know your MMA. But now Will Jordan, cut out pass, goes to Caleb Clark, who runs hard again. Villiers did not look like he wanted to make that tackle, but his teammate did, Peter Lakai. 22 metres out from the line. Advantage coming for New Zealand for offside. Now short side again for Savia. Runs straight at Antoine Dupont and shoves him off. Now again Roigard looking to the short side. Caleb Clark one-on-one with Villiers. A big shot coming in on Bowden Barrett. I don't think he had the position at the time of it. Tamaiti Williams, 10 metres, still separate New Zealand from the try line. Roigard, rough pass to Tupove, still 22 metres. Big clean out from Barrett on Dupont. He's out back to his feet. Satiti wanted to take it quickly, but New Zealand may look for the 3 here. It's an easy 3. What do they decide? They will take on the post. They will give them a 7-point lead. We see quite a few of the squad there. Fabian Holland, Christian Leo Willie, AJ Lamb. Those young guys that might get the opportunity up against Italy next week. Oh, Caleb Clark made a face there when he was dragged down. He kind of looked like he let out a grimace. Hopefully he's going to be all right. He's had some good meters made already. Yeah, it was just the knee. I think it got a little bit twisted. Makes sense to get the 3. And Cheer the Bro says Goldfish in there. I will mention anyone who is new to the channel, of course, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are currently only 42 away from 60,300. So if you do want to help us get there, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. But that kick has gone over from Bowden Barrett, making the score 17 points to 10. How many Georgian refs are there, Hamish, in the country? Like, as in, like, in Georgia. I unfortunately don't know the exact numbers of referees from Georgia. Oh, Geordie Barrett's off. Another injury. He does not look too flash at the moment, so that will bring Anton Leonard-Brown onto the field. That is now 2 injuries that New Zealand have suffered within the first half of this game. Little bit of a battle for the ball. Rico Ioane wins it. 22 metres out from their line. Congrats, Hamish, 60k. Thank you very much, Blues Nate. Leonard-Brown will now take on that number 12 jersey. Come on, boys. Says Shanice. Tie from Roygaard. Of his left boot, Severies chasing after this one, but a fantastic take from Burros. Jean-Baptiste has the ball. Sitting about 42 metres out from the line now. Piotr Malvaka straightens with his run. Now Ramos, forward pass into the hands of Alrit. Referee misses it. Oh, but the penalty goes the way of New Zealand in the breakdown, sealing off against Flamand. Geordie Barrett is off HIA. Says cited. I think so, yeah. Although he did look like he had some sort of leg injury a bit earlier on in the game anyway, so whether or not that also just leaves him off for the rest of the game, even if he passes, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Kickable, says Gregor, too far out for a kickable one, about 65 metres, maybe in altitude stadiums, could be a possibility, but great take from Burros. Running on to that one very nicely. Cody Taylor throwing this ball over the top to Anton Leonard-Brown. It's tackled by Villiers. Now Roygaard, that looked like they were up a little bit quick there, France, in particular. And Rumar. And Roygaard across to the left-hand side again. A bit of a wrestle going on in the breakdown between Tupovai and the big man Miothu. Bowden Barrett back across to Rico Ioane. 30 metres. And still 1 minute 30 to work before the end of the half. Can they get themselves another here, the ABs? They've already got two. One for Lakai, one for Roygaard. It's a Hurricanes kind of day. Although they don't have Barrett anymore, so he will not get one. Maybe, well, Savi is Moana Pacifica. It's got to be Lomax. Speaking of, he has got the ball with a pick and go. Round the side, Will Jordan. Just losing his footing in the process. Oh, a DDT on him. Roygaard to Leonard Brown. Pumps the legs. They're making good meters here. Roygaard, another tackle made by Dupont. Offloads to Peter Lakai. Bumps off Villiers. And Bodian has to take him down. Villiers trying to get in the breakdown. Can't quite get that steal to Mighty Williams. Big physicality from both of these sides. Colom has lost his footing, so he does have to release the ball. New Zealand close to getting the penalty advantage. Leonard Brown straightens. And again, a good tackle. The defence at the moment isn't budging. New Zealand now starting to use their backs a little bit more. Bowden Barrett gets it off to Peter Lakai. Roygaard to Satiti, who's driven backwards in a two-man tackle, but somehow still finds the offload. Ioane, with a standing start, drops his head. They're up to 12 phases at the moment. New Zealand, they just seem to be a little bit stagnant in that attack, looking for that next gap to open up. This looks like they're going to go for a kick, are they? You drop kick from Bowden, that's a terrible decision. Not even close. And it's going to be the end of the half now. 10 points to 17. And that is the end of the half. Just had to make sure that the referee said the same thing. But Bowden from about 45 metres out tries the drop kick. And it did not work. It is fair to say, what a waste, says Gregor. Lots of English and South African guys watching this channel. 8K watching at 1 point last game. Says, cool story, bro. Yeah, it is greatly appreciated the amount of you guys who are popping in and out throughout the weekends. Next week, we are going to have plenty more games that are taking place. No way something is off, Hamish. When have you seen a first half drop goal? Says Mr. Allin. Yeah, I don't know who called for it. I don't know if Bowden said, yeah, I'll get it. Or whether it was a decision made by Roygaard. But it just didn't really work, you'd have to say. I want the Bowden. Says Royal, why not take a drop kick attempt if half-time's nearly up, says Paul Thompson. Well, they had the French scrambling, you had like 10 or so phases, and it's just not what New Zealand normally do. At the end of the day, if they went with maybe 5 more phases, could have got an advantage. Yes, there's a chance that France could have turned it over, but where they were on the field, France would have kicked the ball out and accepted half-time more than likely, so they didn't have a lot to lose. Like, best case scenario, you get a penalty, then you take a try, or you score one out wide if you can break that defensive line of the French. An odd choice, that drop goal, right? I'll see you lads in 10 minutes. Time to grab a drink, says Jazzing Panda. But you just said they were stagnant, says Paul Thompson. They were, but that doesn't mean that they were going to remain stagnant. That was only because they were only going for first and second receiver. They just needed to shift it out the back line. But Like, if you were going to go for the drop kick, you go for it when you're 35 out, not 45. So, yeah, not the best choice from New Zealand. Of course, we could have I probably still would have said it even if it went over. But it's at least taking a chance for New Zealand. You wonder what will happen in the start of the second half. Forget the point, we got Roygaard. Does not matter, at least he's taken opportunity and Bowden's still okay. Says Mike there. Every time we shift, we dangerous, says Sports Unfiltered. Okay, we've got a mismatch of his opponent. Well, that's the thing. Villiers, he hasn't been in the best form for the top 14 at times, but every once in a while he pulls off a massive game. I just don't know if this is going to be that game that happens. Saves you energy, the bros. Says Goldfish Hunter, how good is Roygaard? Says Freshman, I should say. Yeah, he started this half extremely well. Doing very nicely. We have got there, save you energy, the bros. Says Goldfish Hunter. We have got there Chisel and Colby scored the last try. Great game. I don't care who wins this because I'm a Springbok. Says Yako. And we have got there, go the All Blacks go. Says Anton, your commentary is superb. I'm a big fan of your choice or your channel now, Hamish. Neil from England. Yeah, anyone else who is new, be sure, of course, to hit that subscribe button. Top game. And Lakai and Roygaard. Yeah, Lakai, in a game that he wasn't going to be expected to play probably more than 30 minutes at absolute most. He's now gone out there and he scored the first try of the match for New Zealand. He's had a couple errors, but that is always going to be the case with a youngster. And we have there, speak for yourself, Yako. Long live the South. Says Surin there. I just hope New Zealand and Australia wins. I hoped Argentina would bump Ireland. But here we are. Really good commentary, Hamish. Did you study some of the great commentators to learn meter and rhythm? You're a natural and relatable speaker. Good work, pal. Honestly, no, not really. We just played a bit of like rugby challenge and did talking for that, and then someone randomly said you should do a live watch along, and then about 2,000 streams later, here we are. Hamish, show us the pants. The pants aren't really that exciting today for this one. And Black says Joe Mama. And also there, which club rugby do you like, Kiwi, and which land do you go with? Says Yako. Which club rugby? I mean, in New Zealand, it's always quite cool watching. I like watching Wellington, the way that they play. I mean, Auckland's normally relatively solid. Tasman Marcos, I'll just list you every single NPC team by the sounds of it. But, yeah, there's a lot of great teams in New Zealand. So, yeah, hopefully we get to see it once again next year, because the NPC was extremely competitive this year. One moment, we will go like this. And we will go like that. So far, in terms of the odds, France are $3 underdogs in this match, but they are still well and truly in this game, ladies and gentlemen. Currently a 7 points difference between these two sides. And we have good there. Wait, what time is it over in New Zealand right now? Watching from the UK. So it's 9 p.m. Is it 10 a.m.? Yep, around 10 a.m. for us here in New Zealand. We're yet to see a Will Jordan try. And of course, we normally do see one in almost every game that he has played. I'm in church and sound muted. You're a good speaker, says Georgina. Wait, I'm in church with sound muted. You're a good speaker. But how do you know if you've got me muted, Georgina? Plot twist. Listening in today with the speakers on full blast in Brazil. And my neighbours love your accent, says Yandre. And anything can happen. Go New Zealand from a Kiwi in the Czech Republic. One moment, we'll go like this, and we will go like this. These are the benches. One moment, there we go. But looking through at the bench, Julio Marchand, Rida Wari, and Kalum, he has already made his way onto the field. Tolfa Fanua, he actually looked like he wasn't too far off, making his way on at half-time or just before. Gilliard at 20, and Charles Olivon, I think he's going to be a game changer in that number 21 jersey. Lee Garrick at 22, and Gailleton there at number 23 for the New Zealanders. They have already had to make a sub as well. That is Peter Lakai onto the field, as well as Anton Leonard-Brown. Those were both due to the injuries. Damian McKenzie yet to make his way on, but Roygaard having a really big impact here, so it will be very interesting to see how late they leave Cortez Ratama. Same with Tui Pilotu. I think that Vai's had a really good game. 3 steals already at line-out time for New Zealand in the first half. But they are just talking about Antoine Dupont, whether or not he will be able to have a big impact in the second 40 minutes. Hamish commentator PS Ruggers, and now he is here, onwards and upwards. Am I glazing something? Yes. Says a bystander we want to watch. Says Lisa Vore, well, it is on New Zealand TV, on Sky Sport. You'll be able to catch all of the action for this game. And I, Hamish, how did your game of cricket go? I think New Zealand will win this game. What do you think? I predicted New Zealand to win. We also did win the cricket, I should say, but I don't think it's going to be as comfortable as my prediction was. But, like, it's 7 points difference at the moment. My prediction was 13 points in favour of the All Blacks, which I don't think is going to be the case, but they just have got a good chance of doing so. We have got, hello, George, in the chat as well. Don't change the player too early. This team is playing well, says Zion. Donate $100 to watch the game live. Also, that is not true, by the way, just because or else then people do get annoyed. Well, we normally do have a halftime goal, don't we, on the stream? I've probably slacked a little bit. One moment. I better do it. One moment. It's loading. We're going to go here. And we're going to do a halftime goal, ladies and gentlemen. We'll just go there. We'll go 15 minutes. I will be impressed as always the one that we go with. And we will start the goal. There we go. We got the Super Chat goal on the halftime break. I normally am supposed to do that at the start, but I forgot. And Cameron Roygaard looks the good, says Gordon. He's been very impressive throughout this first half. Short chips and get your 40, Hamish. The speed is insane. You need to apply the pressure, says Mr. All-In. And we have the All Blacks by 12 under, do you think? It's honestly, it's too hard to tell. These two sides are so unpredictable. We could see France go out in the second half and score 3 tries in 10 minutes. But at the same time, we could see New Zealand score a couple in the first 10 minutes as well. So it's one of those ones that I honestly wouldn't have a prediction for it. Oh, they've just got there. New Zealand 13 plus is $3.70 on the TAB. Have you got any more streaming next? Have you got any more streaming game next week? So we are going to be doing next week New Zealand and Italy. They are taking on each other, and then South Africa versus Wales and all those other matches that are taking place. This weekend we've still got Australia versus Wales tomorrow as the other game that is taking place. We'll go like that. And Argies are nothing. It's a bit rough. They only just lost in their game, bro. The All Blacks have got this. I reached the age recently where my back goes out more than I do, says Locken. If Mackenzie doesn't make an appearance, then I hope Razor gets wet socks. Wet socks are the worst, aren't they? Definitely if you're not sure why they're wet. You know, it doesn't happen often, but when it does, it just makes you feel very strange. Shut the Frogs might win, says Jordan there. Okay, I see, says cool story, bro. One moment, we will go like that. We will go like that as well. But now jumping into the second half, it is happening very soon, ladies and gentlemen. In terms of those odds, like I said, France, they are $3 underdogs in this match, and I do appreciate that donation, Jimbo. I don't think we got Kerr today. I think he is on a plane at the moment. Great commentary, listening from Wales. I have whānau in New Zealand, hoping to get over again to watch the Lions in 2029. And it sounds far away, but that's only 5 years, and we're already over a year away from when the last Rugby World Cup happened. It is going to fly by. Before we know it, it will be the Australian, British and Irish Lions tour, and then also we're going to get to see the World Cup taking place in Australia as well. They've actually got a lot of sport that is coming up for the Aussies. So, yeah, it's an exciting time in the world of rugby, that is for sure. But, second half, we have got there, Sat Kerr, what's happened? I think him and Jimbo have a donation rivalry that takes place, which of course is very good for us. But, yeah, him and Jimbo always gifting memberships and always donating on the channel. We'll play sevens next week, says Jason. So all the sides will be in action for Dubai. Samoa sadly not on the 7 circuit anymore, which is a big shame. It's going to be 2027 Grand Final. Hopefully I can immigrate to Australia before the 2027 World Cup. Says lock in there. Northern Hemisphere teams don't want to lose access to New Zealand beef and lamb, says Jeremy. And garlic makes great roll-on. Garlic, mate, does it? I know you're supposed to, if you're sick, you're supposed to stick an onion in your sock, aren't you? Is that a thing? Or is that just like a wives' tale? Apparently you slice an onion and you stick it in the sock and then it apparently makes your feet, like it sucks all the sickness out of you. You know? I've never tried it because why would I want to put an onion in my bed? What's your favourite food? Not onion. Well, I don't mind onion to be fair, but it's not my favourite. I like a bit of pizza. Pizza's just, it's too easy to eat about 8 slices of. We have got there any idea why Samoa don't have a 7 side? That sucks. They do. It's just the fact that they got demoted last year, which was a massive shame. How much longer in this match? My boyfriend will give me attention after the rugby, apparently, says Angelina. So you've still got another maybe 45 minutes, maybe 50, until he does show you attention. We have got there, says a Blues night is a Saturday night over in France. It certainly is. Yeah, late night game for this one. Tried that onion trick once. Forgot about the onions in my boots for like a month. It's not pleasant cleaning that up. Oh, that sounds brutal. No one eats whole onions. That's true. Depending on how big the onion is, though. Like a little, what's it called? I can't think of the name of a little onion. Probably just a little onion. But there's like a name for it. Is it a shallot? No, that's a different thing. I'm not a chef, as you guys can tell. Crazy to not see Samoa on the 7s. Never imagined that one. Yeah, for the first time since the 7s started, we don't get to see a Samoan team. And their favourite food, KFC, says Zion. And France has some of our Samoans, says Jake Toa. Spring onion, a scallion. Is that the name? Or a shallot, says Dennis. And there as well. We've got a gifted membership from Robert V. Thank you very much, mate. Pickled onion is small. That's true. They're only little things, aren't they? I've never tried a pickled onion. And pickled onion says Anetti. And there too, but I should mention anyone who is new to the channel, of course, be sure to hit that subscribe button. We are back next week with plenty more action. Who's a better centre, David Arvili or Billy Proctor? If you're basing it off Super Rugby, I would say Billy Proctor. If you're basing it off who Razor will give more opportunities to, I think it will be David Harvili. But Proctor, I think, is just very unlucky. Pickled onion's great. Ahead by 7 points at the moment. Just the one try coming for the French. Was Biros in the 32nd minute, whereas for New Zealand, they have had 2 tries, both Hurricanes players, Peter Lakai and Cam Roigard, both announced in that squad for the upcoming season. What happened to Geordie? I think it was an HIA, but he also had some sort of leg injury, I believe. So it's a bit of an unfortunate one for him. Anton Leonard-Brown has now made his way onto the field from just before the half. One moment, I'm about to sneeze, so I'll quickly mute. We are good. A minion, end of story. And we have got everyone like and subscribe. Cam Roigard is ready to go here. Good chance that he'll be playing next week as well, if they're willing to go with what has been the strongest side up against the Italians. Do you stream any other sports, my brother? We did a bit of cricket in the past. I've always looked at kind of the UFC and whatnot as something that we could do, but I've never really fully committed to a very good commentary. Amish says, Johan, thank you very much. But tackles so far in the first half, 90 made by France, but they missed 15. 67 tackles made by New Zealand, missing the 6. New Zealand have had 7 line breaks in that first 40 minutes, and they will also be kicking off the second half to the French. Of course, big UFC card today. John Jones back in action up against Stipe Miocic, but now Bowden Barrett kicks us back off for the second 40 minutes. A lot better than the English commentators by far, says Big Fudge. Thank you very much. The French in position, 25 metres out from their line. Antoine Dupont rolling this ball back. Does send it downfield off the right boot, and it looked like it was going to bounce into touch, but Will Jordan manages to grab that one and stepping around. Oh, he's driven backwards by Colomb. That's a big shot coming in from the replacement tie here prop. Jean-Baptiste Grou trying to hold up Vai to make it a rolling ball, but can't quite do so. Tyson fight was bad. It was, but at the same time, like, people, I think, were expecting too much. At the end of the day, he is still 58. Now, Thomas Ramos, currently on the halfway line. Dupont Goes across to Flemont. Tackled by Taylor and Peter Larkai. Cody Taylor's had a bit of a quiet game when it comes to running and also the tackling side of things. Belbari trying to bump through one. In fact, this time it's going to be Villiers. Runs straight into the defensive line of the All Blacks. 45 metres out from the line. Antoine Dupont goes across to Pietro Malvaca. Now again in behind Ramos. Going to Galficu. Not making a huge amount of metres here either, France. They're going to try a drop kick from 50 out. Tupavai wanted the turnover, but just slipped over in the process. Gregory Aldrit, another big shot on him. Dupont, this looks like there's an injury here. Is that Colum? Because if that is Colum, that is not good news. That would be 2 props down for the French. Big attack and run, though, from Biafu. He makes about 15 metres. At least, probably closer to 25. Ramos cuts inwards. Had numbers to the left. Anton Leonard Brown, though, over the ball. Can't quite get the steal. Now, Mofana, they're only 5 metres out here. The French big attack and run. They've been told to get out of it. Now, Dupont, that's a knock on from the French, but they'll go back for the original penalty. And I think Colum has still stayed down. Yes, he has. Looks like a neck injury here for the big man. They might have 2 props gone from this game. AI thinks this is Samoa versus France, says Dominus. That will be because we talked about that Samoan 7-side, I assume, for a little bit of time. Anything can happen, says Clarence. And we have got there, defo a nice earner for Tyson fight. I'd like to see is Farage versus Starmer. And also we got there, good start from the French. There's Rodney and can't blame Tyson for a 20 mil paycheck. Yeah, like at the end of the day, in the first round and the second round, he was trying. And then the age just caught up. Like, it's one of those ones that anyone who expected Tyson to be able to go 8 rounds back to back to back at full speed, like his heart was in it, but his legs just weren't. And that's close to the line there. Rolling maul for the French, and they will go in for the try. Who is it? It looks like it's going to be the big man Baudient, who has gone in to score, and France now back into this match. Got to work out how to spell his name. It's a tricky one. There we go. He has scored it in the 43rd minute, but a dream start to the second half for France. Anyone with a name that has a B at the start of their last name, it looks like that is who is going to be able to score themselves try. Lucky that wasn't an offside call. So here's Mr. All-In without Island players. AN's bad. I assume that's AB's, is it? And New Zealand better not bottle this, says Jaden. I bet you the bro has shorts on. I don't, but I have track pants, which are definitely not the second half of the suit. 2 from 2 so far for Thomas Ramos. This to take us back to a level playing field between the teams. He started it wide and it's coming around nice. And now 17 points to 17. The score after 45. There we go. Fix the leg a little bit. They just scored. I missed it. I was making a cuppa. Says Graggle. And come on the AB, says Talana. An evening all work over. Jack Pants and Commando. Says Scrotumus. Not quite, no. And come on the All Blacks, bring it on, French. Says Eddie, anything can happen in the second half, says Chris Knight. That is true. We know how quickly the game can be switched around in terms of momentum with these two teams. Now Antoine Dupont waiting for this ball to come out the back. Southern Hemisphere rugby power rules, says Seeker. France to take this one with 4 points, says Danian. Now Roygard back across to Tupavai. Puts the ball in behind to Bowden Barrett. Looks like Vai may have taken a bit of a cheap shot there. Now Caleb Clark. I don't know why I said that so weird, but he's got the ball. Villiers looking for the steal and the breakdown. Can't get to it, but is disrupting the breakdown well. Bowden Barrett tries the cross kick. It's going to be contestable. Reese overcooks it. And it's gone off Belvari. So will now be the line out for New Zealand. As a South African Wadahaka, by the way, says Jaden, yeah, complete silence during the haka, something that you very rarely see nowadays. What time is it now in New Zealand? Currently it is sitting 10:20 a.m. New Zealand time. Yeah, it's just smacked Balbari straight in the face. Gets the high five from his teammates, but just jumping over the top of that one. Looks like Tupavai has stayed down just for a little bit longer. New Zealand better win. Got a lot of money on this game. Says Bowen, rifle hunting. I literally just landed in Dallas. I'm glad this flight went well. Jimbo gave you a bit of a shout out earlier on, Kerr. Looks like Cody Taylor. You're ready to take this line out. I thought for a second he was making his way from the field. He was clapping towards the crowd. 70 all. Update your score. Says Ali. Hopefully the online scoreboard will update itself soon. Cody Taylor now. Ready to throw this ball in for the All Blacks. And it's gone in nicely to Tupavai, who has now claimed that line out. Roygaard. Cross there to Savia. Leonard Brown. Hits it up. 45 metres out from the line. Pick and go from Rieko Ioane to get a couple extra metres. Roygaard ball spinning out the side. He's done well to handle that. It's just a tricky one at the moment. There are a lot of little things that are happening in the breakdown to make it difficult. Here comes Tyrell Lomax with the big drive forward from that man. How far out of New Zealand from their line at the moment? 40 metres out. Bowden Barrett. Short ball to Scott. Offloads to Tamaiti Williams again. The All Blacks, good attacking position on the field now. Caleb Clark, Kalum. That's not going to do too well for the neck, and he's probably going to be very lucky not to give away an advantage for not rolling away. Just out from the 22. Bowden Barrett, short ball to Will Jordan. Runs it straight at Galfiku. Now Rieko Ioane drops his head again. New Zealand very happy to just go with one phase and one pass. Again, Roygaard goes out to Bowden Barrett. Considered the pass to Taylor, but will hang on to it instead. Roygaard back to Satiti. Pops it up to Tupavai. Gets the offload to Barrett. Patient build up here for New Zealand. Roygaard, flat ball to Peter Lakai. Now, once again, the pick and go from Severis gets it to Roygaard, getting spun around all over the place. He'll get dizzy at that point. Now, once again, passes on the outside. Jordan with the cutout pass to Clark, set him up big time, and he's driven into touch. Well defended by France yet again. Another line out coming, which, of course, we saw New Zealand get the better of in that first 40 minutes. And France 20, New Zealand 26, says Justin there. And good tackles, says Mr. All-In. New Zealand, they went with that risky pass over the top. I think in the end, Jordan just had a bit too much height on it. Oh, it sounds like there's going to be a sub being made. Yeah, because Clark had to jump. He did actually drop it in the field of play as well. So France might actually want to take the scrum if they're allowed to. And my wife said if I watch any more rugby, she's leaving. I had to miss the last try looking for her suitcases. See Neville there. How far is that line out from their line? It's about 10 metres or so. But Jean-Baptiste grew to make his way from the field. Same with Gregory Aldrit. And same with Mia Fu. So 3 changes being made for France. If it was that pass, Bodie, says Thorfinn. If you're talking about the one to Clark, it was Will Jordan who did the pass. And any idea why there's only 2 Blues players in the starting team? The ABs, they had such a dominant season, says Joe Webby. I mean, it's all about the rotation and Tui Pelotu making his way off the bench, just seeing as he's been such a great super sub. Now we're trying to roll this one forward just a little bit further for the French. Antoine Dupont off his left. Will kick it downfield. Hasn't found touch though. Being told to run it back up is Bowden Barrett. Looking for a gap, gets through 2, but then Dupont is there to make that tackle. Villiers has been told to get out of it, to which he ignores the referee. Crowd wanted the penalty. They were probably lucky it wasn't against their man. And come on, the ABs, come on, says Moa Hunters. We're seeing Gilliard, Wardy, and also Marchand all make their way onto the field. Bowden Barrett back across to Wallace Satiti. Across again, Bowden Barrett and behind to Will Jordan. Quick hands to Anton. Leonard Brown couldn't quite get through. Galfiku doing well to hold him up. Peter Lakai slowly working their way closer to that 22 here. New Zealand, Bowden Barrett. They've got numbers to the left-hand side. Here comes Wallace Satiti. Offload on the inside to Barrett. Now Roygaard picks it up. Goes with a little grubber in behind from Bowden. I don't think that was the best choice. And now Ramos has open space off his weaker left boot and gets a beautiful kick down the middle of the park. Severis has Bureau making the tackle on him. Roygaard thought about the 50-22, hangs on to it. No New Zealand clean out coming in. Made about 4 poor decisions in a row there, New Zealand, but they've got away with it as they have somehow still got possession. They just lost a lot of metres in the process. Roygaard back across to the right-hand side. Bowden Barrett short to Artie Savia. And that's a good driving bit of work from Savia with his legs. And behind Bowden Barrett goes to Ioane. Flat ball to Tupova. He wanted the offload, but he's thrown it straight to Ramos. And it's a foot race. Belpari, he is rapid with his feet. And New Zealand concede after many mistakes on the trot. France cash in and get themselves the try. Like I've said, patience on defence from the French. Same can't be said about the way that New Zealand attacked there. It looked scrappy. It looked unstructured. And now Belbari does get the try. But Vai was looking for the man on his shoulder who he just did not have, as New Zealand were all spaced out. However, I hope you're making money after all these extensive live streaming hours. I mean, plenty of people out who couldn't watch the game live, says Yako. And New Zealand need to do something where other subs, says Lockin. And who messed up, says Ali. Who didn't? I mean, we saw Vai was the last offload. We saw Bowden Barrett. It all started from him trying to go for a grubber in behind when New Zealand had numbers on the outside, inside of France's 22. Then from there, New Zealand lost a good 40 metres. And then just a couple bad decisions. Roygaard didn't pass. Reese didn't pass, and then France capitalised. But they have got the kick over as well, so that will make the score 24 points to 17. They lost no system. Bring on DMAC to try to save the game again, says Lewis. We can watch this match. If you're in New Zealand, it is on Sky Sport. Here in New Zealand, Bowden Barrett, you sound Luke like a problem, says Mervita. I need that now. ABs can wake up. We kick downfield again now. France inside of their 22 and a good low tackle made by Scott Barrett. He's had a busy game so far, doing a lot of work around the breakdown as well as those tackles. Kicked high and towards the touchline. Belbari, it's kicked out on the full by the French. And Bodie is garbage, but our fans been crying for him to stay at 10. Says Isaac Clark. And we have got there South Africa number 1. They certainly are. Do you not love me, says Thunderbolt Drew. Where'd that come from? I must have missed the earlier message, did I? Thunderbolt. Oh, substitution for New Zealand. I think it will be Tupavai making way for Tui Pilotu. Oh no, McKenzie. Oh, this is a bold call. Ratima onto the field now for Cam Roygaard. The silent treatment. I don't do it on purpose. In case you haven't noticed, there are also 3,500 other people who are in the live stream, and quite a few of them are sending messages. So I try my best to read them, but every once in a while, a few do slip through the cracks. And that's stolen by the French off the line out. Belpari does do well. And trust me, the ABs will win this match. I bet everyone's house on it. And 31 points to 24 was Pinot not considered. He was injured, I believe, as he was going to be starting in the game up against Japan, but then did get taken away. Thanks, my boy Neville. There's Thunderbolt. Now it's going to be kicked downfield by Antoine Dupont. Will Jordan takes it on the halfway line. Now here goes Damien McKenzie. That's a deliberate knockdown, or at least a deliberate slap from Galfiku. So it's going to be the advantage. New Zealand with the possession. Ratima waiting for Villiers to get out of the way. Inside ball to Satiti. Now 22 metres out for New Zealand. Going to the short side. Caleb Clark cuts back inwards. Sitting down Bureau. Ratima wanted the ball quickly. I think there's a player down and back play. It looks like a New Zealander to Mike T. Williams. Tried the offload. Goes straight to the French. Who's down? That's the question. Was it McKenzie? No, there he is. Who is it? That is down. Time is off. They're going to be checking something here for the deliberate knockdown from Galfiku. Okay, number 7 offside is the one that they've gone with. Someone tell Tamati Williams that he has to pass to his teammates. Like I said already, Mackenzie's impact within a minute of coming onto the field. That backline shifting it a lot quicker. There's a bloke waving away. I have no idea who it is. Oh, it's Satiti actually, is it? Oh no, it's Tolfa Whanua who came on the field and then took a bit of a high shot. I bet my life savings on New Zealand. I hope they win or I'll be homeless. Says Thunderbolt and Char grilled Kiwi burgers for dinner tonight. Now out in front of the post, looks like Damian McKenzie will line up the 3 points here. Can I please have a shout out, say Joseph, said Ken. And All Blacks are known for their kicking game and the big forwards. And come on, ABs, says Clarence. France being told to stay back 10, but McKenzie taking over the goal kicking and has got that first one over, making the score now 20 points to 24. He's a front rower, run the ball and go to ground. I was listening to every word and the dog farted. Phew, still can't see. Says Alexander. They will come back, says Mike Tupavai, now taken from the field. That is for Patrick Tuipolotu, with the exception of that rough pass that led to Balabari's try. Vai, having a pretty solid game. Some big shots, important in the line out as well. Who's at fullback? I believe Will Jordan is still in that fullback role. But normally New Zealand just like to have a bit of a reshuffle. Penalty goes the way of France for the shepherding or the blocking of the chasing man. It always happens. At least it has throughout November. A silly penalty to give away for New Zealand again. And Cody Taylor, the one who has the clear obstruction, trying to cut off Barabari. Now France have a decision. I think they're going to kick for the corner here, are they? They are. France kicking for the corner. If they score now, I think this will almost secure the game. I want to watch game. It is on Sky Sport. And keep calm, handle the ball, and press on, boys. Go ABs. And Razor really went into that meeting wanting to play freely, huh? I know ACU's at the end of the game, says Mr. All-In. New Zealand should have learned by now, says Jimbo. And shout out to the wife Jennifer and the kids, Carlos and Amir. Hopefully I've said that correctly. Looks like Tolfa Whanua will make his way from the field. Oleron will make his way on. And now France have about a 7-metre line out. It's going to be an interesting one here. New Zealand ready to defend this rolling maul. Well taken by France. Getting driven backwards by New Zealand. But they have to hold strong. They are relatively well. It's still going sideways. Dupont waiting for this ball as an advantage for in through the side from New Zealand. They've pulled it down and it is going to be the penalty for France. This one a little bit easier of a kick, but I think once again, France will go for either the corner or the scrum. Oh no, Ramos says we'll take 3. He said we've tried that. It didn't quite work. They went for the corner earlier on as well and didn't get any reward out of it. The commentators are not happy. The New Zealand one, Jeff Wilson, was livid with that decision. Mills Miliaina not happy either. The breakdown's going to be heated this week. France forwards weaken now. Says Annoy, why are we doing stupid stuff? Unfortunately, the discipline of New Zealand has been a talking point all throughout this year. And in certain games, it hasn't cost them. But France are trying to make the most of it. They're trying their best to really put them down. These commentators are super biased. Says Joel there. Now, Thomas Ramos ready to take the shot for the 3. This will take it back to a 7-point. Oh, tell you what, it's only just snuck over, but 27 points to 20 now. A 7-point split was the time call there. At the moment, it is 57.5 minutes through in this one. Ref is doing his utmost to secure a win for France. I mean, the ref had nothing to do with New Zealand's stupidity. The last try that they conceded, though, like, he wasn't involved in that one. And, like, New Zealand's discipline, it hasn't been known for being great for the last 20 minutes of a game. And South Africa and New Zealand discipline seems bad. Says Xander, how many minutes to go? Says Clarence. And we have got there plenty of time, to be honest. Yeah, plenty of time for a game-changing moment. Nicely taken under the high ball for Damian McKenzie. Now Ratama. Waiting for the back line to be set. Here comes Scott Barrett trying to charge forward. Ratama now going to roll it back. Looks like he's going to go for a box kick of his own. Down towards the halfway line. Knocked by Anton Leonard-Brown. Over the ball though, Cortez Ratama gets the turnover penalty. They will look to kick this one downfield. Yet again, when the ref is on your side, you will definitely win, says Jay Minnie. So I'm confused. Which decision is I assume it's that rolling maul decision that people aren't happy with. Other than that, I think this ref's been very strong throughout this game. Looks like Asafo Amoa, Fatonga Fasi, and Basilio Tosi will all make their way onto the field. Bodie has to kick, better than passing to Anton. Let me down, says Tuxter. I mean, the last time Bowden tried to kick, he did a grubber and New Zealand conceded a try from the pressure afterwards. Just saying. What's the stat on away games for France against New Zealand, says Lilia B. It's not great for the French, but at home, they are extremely strong. They've won their last 2 games and haven't lost to New Zealand since 2018. And seriously, are you guys trying to blame the ref for all that stupidity? Yeah, like there's just been far too many errors from New Zealand in the second half. And it's starting to cost them. Quick hands from Leonard-Brown. In fact, no, it was in fact going to be Rico Ioane passing it up from his back there, Will Jordan. They are only 10 metres from the line now. Got their hands down and they do have to release him. Ratama goes across to Tyrell Lomax. Good position on the field now for New Zealand to answer back. Ratama goes across to Patrick Tuipulotu. Again, Roygaard going to Peter Lakai, getting within a few metres. Good leg strength from the youngster McKenzie. Going with the short ball to Ioane. And Olivon straight on the ball and gets the turnover. I mentioned how he can be a game changer, and that is exactly what he has done there. But Rico was not the choice to run that ball. Dupont now once again kicking for the clearance and doesn't find touch with it. Bowden Barrett goes across to Damian McKenzie. Shut down, or at least he should have been, but still marching forward there for McKenzie. And dang it, says Dominus. A great job, Hamish, watching with the lads from Stones in the Dominican Republic. Says John, so welcome. Another good bit of driving from Peter Lakai. Gets them up to 20 out. Scott Barrett takes it again, an advantage for New Zealand. Ratama wants the ball to Mighty Williams, has the pick and go. French getting in there, shutting it down. Another chance for 3 for New Zealand, or do they go for the corner? And spin it out wide, says Clarence. And also we have got there, Le Bleus always dangerous at home. But the All Blacks will snatch it in the closing minutes, says Voodoo. Can't blame the ref, we will blame the coaches and management, says Clarence. Okay, they're taking on the 3 points again here, New Zealand. Plenty of time left. Still another 19 minutes in this match. Rita Wardy just trying to shut that one down out the back, but Charles Olivon, really nicely done. Ioane isolated himself. Wanted the pass. McKenzie, he was hesitant. Gave it to him in the end, and that one has gone over now, making the score 23-27. 15 minutes left, says Ali, and more changes now will be made. The front row replacements. Every time Ioane touches the ball, something bad happens, says Scrotimus. It's been the trend all throughout this game so far. It seems like as soon as it gets to Ioane, the backline stops. This match is almost like the South African match, says Peter. And there you've beaten England and Ireland, although this is a weakened French team. You're hard-asked to win them all. Ref been solid, he's complaining about it, need to get a grip, says Andre. Yeah, I honestly think Amasha Kelly has had a really good control of this game so far, with the crowd as well trying to sway his decisions. Like, he's just stuck to his choices. Ratama needs to get this one out here. Too long from Cortez Ratama. Scrum feed for the French. Now, it means that France have got a perfect attacking chance from inside of New Zealand's 22. Tossi, Lomax off. For Basilio Tossi, off at Toingafasi, he has come on. Yeah, Ratama just taking too long to get that ball out. And we have got the RMG, another stupid thing. What happened there? So yeah, Ratama was told to use it by the ref. He rolled it back past one player, rolled it back past another, tried to get it past a third player, and then the referee said, took too long. Time, please, says Allo. 63 minutes in this one. This is not fair. France is a big bully, says Neil. And we're doomed, says Dave. Why can we not listen? You are listening. Unless you've got it on mute, then that is why. Put Cam back on, says Zazu NZ. Now Antoine Dupont to feed the ball in here. And they have got the whole back line to be able to work with. Dupont goes across to Galfiku in the midfield, looping around there. That's obstruction. Rico Ioane blocked there with the support runner. Looks like it is going to be play on just for now. France back across there to Gilliard. Rida Wardi tackled by Basilio Tossi. Ramos goes across. Buroso stolen by Will Jordan. That is a brilliant catch, and now a foot race. Ramos has to retreat. He's running like his life depends on it. Jordan is in his face. Flat pass to Belbari. Flat pass out there, and Will Jordan asking the question, could it have been forward? And it was. So now the scrum feed for the French. And obstruction, says Rodney. There was a bit of it, yeah. And look at all these poor sports blaming the ref for the AB's mistakes. How shameful. And plenty of time. And that's the thing. They're only down by 4 at the moment here. So if they can score now, there's a chance. But they have to get something going. Yeah, that one of Rico Buros did go through a little bit ahead of him. But that is a brilliant take from Will Jordan. If he got one hand to it, it was going to be a yellow card. This is the first All Black scrum in quite some time. France haven't had a huge amount of handling errors throughout this game. Looks like another change is about to be made. Le Garec. That is going to be for Antoine Dupont. Last 15 minutes. I don't think they'll be too happy. He's going to go on now, is he? Not quite. Like they said, he's actually the cover for the number 10 jersey as well. Dupont looking up at the big screen, watching him warm up, going, no, that's not how it works around here. The All Blacks, I don't give forward passes, says WLK. Good work, France, says Marlon. Now, ball's going to be fed in by Cortez Aratam. A big push there. Both front rows crumbling. Now, Leonard Brown with the flat run forward. Oh, it's going to be the advantage for a player in the way. Not rolling away. I think there was a knock on from New Zealand, though, in that breakdown. But Ratama now using it quickly. Bowden Barrett trying to find that next pass. Gets it to Jordan, who fires it out wide to Caleb Clark. Now, we will go back for the original penalty. New Zealand have the chance to add another 3 here. Or do they decide to crank it up that little bit more? How far out is New Zealand then? They will be about 15 metres out in front if they want to take this penalty. In fact, it's literally right in front of the post. You can't get any easier than that. But they've got to decide if they want to go territory and stay down this end of the field. Scott Barrett has called for the shot. And that's the decision made by Scott Robertson as well. I stopped using Ioane for a battering ram. He ain't gaining ground, ABs. You should know that by now, says Zion. We have got there, I think they take the risk, says Gregor. Instead, though, they've taken the 3. And at the moment for France, it's slightly, in a way, it's strategic. Because New Zealand, if they're going to take those 3s, anytime New Zealand have looked like scoring lately, France just concede a penalty, New Zealand take 3, but then France still get to kick off down into New Zealand's territory. So, of course, you don't want to do it too many more times. Definitely not with it only being 1 point separating the sides. But for now, it's worked all right. Going for the points. Interesting decision, says Rendert. And let's go All Blacks. 10 minutes, 2 tries, says Grant. Lee Garrick. He's made his way on. Is that for Antoine Dupont? No, it's not. It's for Buros. That's an interesting switch. He can cover 10. Oh, no, that makes sense. He's covering 10 and then Ramos drops to 15. That makes perfect sense. How much time left? Still another 12 minutes left. And there's one Bowden Barrett looking for the clearing kick. Does get it downfield. 7 minutes for Razzle Dazzle. Says Xander, and great commentator, best way to keep up with the match and not pay for TNT, says Ping Pong. And we are going to be here next week as well for All Blacks versus Italy, as well as France versus Argentina, hopefully. Anyone who is new, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Now, Julio Marchand throwing the ball and all. Barrett almost able to get that turnover at line-out time, but a very strong grip for the French lock. Now up the middle, that should be the ball for New Zealand. Yes, it is. Wallace Satiti gets over the ball and gets the important turnover. Having more points than your opponent at the end of the game is how you win games. That is a very factual statement. 100% Irish All Blacks, second favourite team. All Blacks are legends, love an Irish fan, says Starlight. Currently looking at the odds, ladies and gentlemen, New Zealand are $2.05 underdogs at this stage of the match. All they need there is a penalty or something, and they'll find themselves in the lead. Wallace Satiti straight on to the ball. The line out. Oh, it's a knock-on from Roygaard. Oh, sorry, it's not Roygaard anymore. It is Ratima, who has made yet again another error since making his way onto the field. That is about his third. And only about 5 minutes as well. Where do you see the odds on the TAB? Safwa Moore, just a bit short from Wallace Satiti as well, who does need to take some of the blame for that one not getting it. Roygaard didn't get the call. Says Mr. All-In. Did you know if you win, you've won? And Ratima, 3 mistakes is crazy. WGF. Ratima having a frawley of a night. And come on the AB, says Garbello, and it gives France yet again another opportunity for that scrum. 10 minutes remaining. So I look back at what I selected, and of course it's only relevant because of what's happening here, but I actually had TJ as my guy off the bench. And don't get me wrong, TJ has got his flaws, but I feel like in this type of situation, we knew it was going to be close heading into the final moments, and you need that experience. Some sort of control and the calmness. I feel like Ratim is a little bit skitterish at the moment. And up the All Blacks, let's go, says Shawnee. And it might be a draw. It's not likely, though, with how it's sitting. And come on. Right, Pieto Malvaca is actually going to be packing down on the side of the scrum here for the French. Miss, you know 2 cents? I do know 2 cents, yes. Why would you take off Roygaard? He was the pinnacle, says poor boy. Yeah, I feel like it has to be premeditated, I would think, anyway. Now Legarech to feed this ball in. Antoine Dupont playing as the 10 in just this situation. And now big push from both sides. Staying strong, breaking off the back here. Take a run from Ramat. New Zealand are already rugby superpowers. Someone tell Beaver to dust off his kicking boots. France just having that hit up there with Colomb. Now Legarech ready to kick this one high. Chasing after this is Belbarri, but well taken by Will Jordan, who gets the offload away to McKenzie. Shut down early. Belbarri cleaned up by Ofa Tuangafasi. Numbers here for New Zealand, if they choose to use them. Rico Ioane, they're going back for something that happened on the far side of the field. It's the penalty to the French for a neck roll from New Zealand. They aren't helping themselves here. How much time remaining? There is still another 9 minutes left. Will Jordan in the corner for the win again. Says Little Busby. This is the chance for France to add a few more points. I think they'll take the 3 here. 1-7, that is Ofa Tuangafasi, who has been penalised for that. Now Dupont and Ramos, what is the plan? They want a ball. They can't find it. Here it is, Ofa Tuangafasi. I think it was actually Savia coming through as well. There was dynamic movement, says the referee. I knew it would be close, but didn't think it would be like this. What a game. And also, what can you do when the ref don't know what an infringement is? Says Thorfinn. And here we go to 4 minutes correct. So still 8 minutes left in this one. Otherwise, you clock 2 minutes ahead, Amish says Victor, because it is an online clock. And the All Blacks Legends Irish fan says Starlight, 5 from 5 at the moment for Thomas Ramos here. This one 38 metres out, probably his easiest kick. Oh, maybe not quite the easiest, but it's right up there anyway. Now, crowd, a deadly silence, and he's got it over. Back to the 4-point lead for France here, 30 points to 26. I think the All Blacks are going to need a try here. Each time they get that little bit closer with the threes, France fire back because of the ill discipline from the All Blacks. Blockbuster finish coming. And All Blacks is giving me a poop. Oh, player possibly taken out there for New Zealand, but straight over the ball. And Ardie Savea doesn't get it. He's been tipped up as well there. He is not happy about it, Savea. And the penalty does go New Zealand's way. Right, what do they do now? Oh, Ratama got the ball passed to him by Malvaka and still dropped it. I think they almost have to consider going, do you go for the post here? I think they're going to. They have to rely on themselves not giving away a penalty, though, and that is the hardest part for them at the moment. Line out buddy says goated. Penalty does go the way of New Zealand for that breakdown. What's the time at the moment? It is 74 minutes through. It is against Reda Wardy, Damian McKenzie. So I'm from about 43 metres out on the angle. Oh, that was a good guess. It is exactly 43 metres out. Neither try to win. Yeah, I don't know if you're going to be able to win playing table tennis with the French taking 3s on 3s. But it keeps them in the game and the chance for a 3 to win it. So I guess that's the mindset. The kick from McKenzie is once again struck beautifully down the middle, and it makes the score 30 points for 29. Are they not going for touch? They are not. No, they've gone very safe, I guess you could say, in the way that they've done it. Now 5 minutes remaining. Come on, New Zealand. Right, the big thing here, like they've just said there, discipline. If they can get the discipline right and they can stop conceding inside of their own half, there is a chance for them. But Ramos kicks it high. Oh, Safa Moore almost changed his line there. He could have ended up with one against him if he wasn't careful. Penalty incoming soon, says Mr. Tuba. Looks like Ratama will roll this one back. Has taken it nice and early for that kick. And it does get it into touch. It's hit the cameraman on the head. Okay, Ugly will be fine. Field position needed. So 40 metres out, France will have themselves the line out now. And come on, the All Blacks, says Jan Ray. Don't stuff it up now, All Blacks. That's as far as we should have went for the corner, says Troy. Now thrown in. Nicely taken by Charles Olivon. Like Barrett got a decent start in terms of trying to creep his way forward in the rolling maul, but France doing very nicely here as well. Making some really good meters. They're being told to stay there. Now Legara goes behind Galfiku. Grub it across field. McKenzie is back there ready to cover. He's got 4 French defenders in front of him and he runs straight at Thomas Ramos. And New Zealand trapped inside of their 22 yet again. They've set a long way from where they want to be. Ratama taking his time at the back of the breakdown again. Start calling him TJ Perenara 2.0, but that is a good kick downfield, although he hasn't managed to find touch with it now. Antoine Dupont just sends it as high as he can. Looks like Savia. No, in fact, it was Satiti wanted it. Ball is there for Bowden Barrett. Tries to step, gets the offload to a Safwa Moore. Tries to wrestle down Gouliard in through the side for France. Now McKenzie passes across to Anton. Leonard Brown straightens, thought about offloading, but hangs on to it again. Basilio Tossi goes to Savia. They're slowly making meters here, New Zealand, but they are still inside of their own half. Here comes Osafwa Moore. 40 meters from their line now. Bowden Barrett in behind to Damian McKenzie. Jordan has got space, wanted to pass, but back there is Villiers to be able to block the ball. Lakai though, counter-ruck coming from New Zealand, and they get the ball back. Barrett going now to Bowden, who is just jogging crossfield, drop ball from Rieko Ioane in one of the most simple passes you will ever see. Now kicked in behind. Savia has to be in a foot race with Belbari and also the other French number 9, Dupont. Now only a couple metres out from the line. They've lost their footing there. And Dupont takes it, and that is a gift for New Zealand. They leave their feet. They steal the ball. But Rieko, in the most open chance of the day for him, drops it cold. But the penalty now, Savia had to sprint with everything he had left in the gas tank there. He was on a hiding to nothing, but somehow did just enough to give McKenzie time to also get back. Now kicking it towards the touchline for Bowden Barrett. Ioane just dropped the game, it could have been. But yeah, that's just bad from Ioane. As a professional rugby player, you should be taking that 9 times, if not, I was 99 times out of 100, really. Of course, we don't know if it's slippery out there, but it doesn't look too bad. Safwa Moore now with the line-out throw. It is just outside of the All Blacks 22. Throwing it in, well taken by Satiti. Ratama goes across to Bowden Barrett. Now Savia. Hit on the 22. France starting to get relentless in the breakdowns, trying to get that steal, so New Zealand have to be aware of it. McKenzie running it sideways, gets driven towards the touchline. The ball is knocked on the ground, and France are back in possession. Well, the speed of that French player, yeah, he's a lethal player when it comes to pace. Belbari, cross kick attempt, and we're going to see it again. He pins his ears back, awkward bounce, and the advantage, I believe, would have been over. So New Zealand now have themselves the line out again. And they got this done, but what a game, says Greggle. Now 30 seconds remaining in this game. New Zealand once again are inside of their own 22 with a long, long way to go. Now to 25 seconds remaining. Rieko, the worst centre in New Zealand rugby, says Scrotimus. And a high viewership right now. That is very true. Anyone who's new, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Tuipulotu slaps it back, and a Safwa Moore is there to take it. Bumps off Julio Marchand. They're 10 metres from their line, New Zealand, and they've got to go 90 to win this game. France trying to get that turnover, can't do so. Barrett goes across to Leonard Brown. There has been far too much of just the first receiver running the ball, but that is because they can't trust Rieko on the outside. Peter Lakai trying to make his way forward. His knees are down. 5 metres out. New Zealand switching, giving it to Rieko. A risky plan at this stage. Now Bowden Barrett opens up a bit of space. Clark on the inside, tackled by Dupont. The tackler has to roll. Currently 81 minutes almost gone in this game. Scott Barrett, France looking for that last minute steal. Now back across. Peter Lakai pops it up to Rieko. Passes to McKenzie. He's hit high by Galfiku. And currently 9 phases in for New Zealand. Will Jordan tries to hit it up, and it's become a rolling maul. All France need to do is tie this ball up, and it will be the end of the game. The French win by 1 at the Stade de France. And they will do it by 1. 30 points to 29. There'll be certain decisions for Scott Robertson that he has to make before the game up against the Italians, but the French hanging on by the singular digit. You need to tell us where they are on the field more. Well, they have finished the game now. But they were only 10 metres out. They never moved from there. Always inside of that space. And we have got the RIP. And well done, Hamish, says Shane. Good game, says Liam. Time to drop Bowden. His time is done, says Isaac Clark. Yeah, there certainly was a bit more of an impact when we saw Damian McKenzie make his way onto the field. But I think they've got to look at that centre pairing and really scratch their heads. Because It cost them many times in this game. I think there's about 3 positions at the moment that they've got to look at. But at the end of the day, France, they've done extremely well. They had their moments in this contest, managed to score themselves that try in the 50th minute. That was the difference maker. When New Zealand looked at their worst, France managed to take that opportunity and make it count. At the point, absolutely loving it. That is now 3 times in a row that France have beaten the All Blacks. The last time that took place was 1994, 1995. So it has been quite some time before I was born, believe it or not. But a 1-point thriller, just like it normally is when these two sides do face. So if a New Zealand sport needs to give you a job, Hamish, without Geordie, we were lost in the back line, says Joe Webby. Rico Ioane should learn the basics, and Ratama and Jordan both play badly. Says Gideon. I mean, I would say that Jordan, for me, wasn't terrible. I think that at times maybe the decision-making wasn't quite there, but they just looked like a scrambled mess in their backline. Like, it seemed like no one had any idea who was actually supposed to be running forward and who was going to be taking contact. So, like, maybe that was down to the early injury of Sama Penifina, but I doubt it. I think it was just more of the case of just not making the right choices. How Satiti been? He's a future legend. I tell you, from a South African, I think Satiti still did pretty well in this game. Got himself a turnover. Got the running meters under his belt a little bit as well. Ioane is a hindrance. Find someone else. And we go there, Bravo France. ABs have a few to work on. Says Calv and there as well. The All Blacks can go F off. Says Motivational Fury. I wish I could have watched the match. Thanks for the commentary. Can't believe it's 3 in a row against the French. Terrible. Says Joseph, although that is only 3 since 2018, I should mention. They don't play too often, but when they do, which is normally in France. But, yeah, it's always an atmosphere at the Stade de France. We see there 11 missed tackles from New Zealand of their 113. Line breaks 9. A lot of the stats will say that they should have been able to go on to win this game, but the scoreline does say differently. And completely drop Ioane. He's done his time for the ABs. Now it's time to pass the torch, says Zion. And we'll get there. Well done on the commentary, mate. Says Graggle. It wasn't a neck roll. Was their comms broken? Says Johan. Well done to the French close game. And thank you, Hamish. God bless. I see you tomorrow, fella. Yeah, we have still got another game taking place over the weekend. It is going to be Australia versus Wales. Cheats, says Sensei. I'll be honest, in a game that's only separated by 1 point, and the amount of mistakes New Zealand made, you can't blame the ref. Like, yes, couple decisions you can say maybe didn't go their way, but at the end of the day, that try that Balbari scored in the 50th, the referee had absolutely nothing to do with that. It was 5 errors in a row from New Zealand. First from Bowden trying to kick it when it didn't need to be kicked, then from Roygaard for not passing, then from Reese for not passing, then from Vai with his offload that went straight into the hands of the French, and then they scored the try. So that's a difference maker. Making 5 errors in a row does not win you a game of rugby. And also the bench in this game didn't reach their stride really either. We have got there France is more superior, says AMX, and AB still legend, says Jody. Ratama sold, and Ratama should be dropped after that. Well, I didn't even have him in my lineup in the first place up against France. I actually went with TJ, and as much as people dislike TJ, I do think he would have handled the pressure a lot better in these type of games. At the Stade de France, you don't realise what kind of suffocating nature it has when you've got so many people who are just cheering the opposition. It's like a cauldron, and France handled the heat. New Zealand did not. AB's mistakes cost them. Says Ngati Kahu there, and midfield needs looking at, I think, not the only problem, but a persistent one. Says Mr. Porkchop. So I should mention, ladies and gentlemen, with this win going the way of the French, just very quickly, in terms of the world rankings, New Zealand dropped to 3rd, and the Irish, they go up to 2nd. So overall, it means that, I believe, even if South Africa were to lose to Wales, I don't think anyone can overtake South Africa for that world number 1. Unless Wales also beat Australia, because they can gain 1.31. And then, of course, that would mean that South Africa could drop quite a bit as well. Razor will review this year. It is going to make serious changes. I believe they shouldn't have been a card for repeated offside within the French 22. Says Joseph. Far out, congratulations to France. Rasma coming on was a huge mistake. And Xavier match was amazing, one of the best in the world. Says the French pill. And many bad players out there. AB's fans on Rugby Pass Instagram complaining about the ref. Didn't realise the ref used telekinesis to make Rico drop the ball. Yeah, like there were so many moments in this game that didn't even involve the refereeing panel that New Zealand blundered. That Rico Ioane dropped ball. The ref didn't tell the All Blacks to go for the 3 off the penalty that they won. Maybe they needed that try in that scenario. We saw those handling errors, like I mentioned, that led to that Belbari try. I mean, some shining lights came out of this. Lakai looks ready for international rugby. Roygaard looks like he should be playing for at least 65, if not 70 minutes. And they just need a good replacement to get in there. But yeah, Ratima's stocks, in terms of what people felt at the start of the season since Roygaard came back, they've just plummeted. The refereeing of the scrum was horrible, says 9HD. Scrums are always tricky with these two sides. Like we saw a lot of teams, or both sides, popping up at random moments, knees going down, Barrett bad decision, says Dan there. Refs cheat, stop pandering, Hamish. Sensei, I mean, if it helps you sleep at night and you want to blame something in this game and you don't want to look at the 15 handling errors and the whole heap of penalties and mistakes New Zealand made, if you want to blame the ref for 1 point different, if it helps you sleep, go for it. But not many people will be there with you. TJ should replace Ratima, says Lachlan, and typical AB supporters blaming the referee, says WLK, and another proper test match. And AB side tonight with but French flair got the French home, says Paul Henry. And yeah, France just seemed more relaxed out there on the field. Like they weren't afraid to have 10 tackles in a row, 15 at times, and just consist on just trying to fight through the All Blacks just attacking. A no drive, huh? First half drop goal. Don't ever change our game up again, says Mr. All In. And go watch the replay, says Sensei. I mean, we watched the game live, and once again, 1 point is the difference. So if you're blaming the ref for a 1 point game that New Zealand, I'll be honest, they should have won. With the amount of chances that they had, with the amount of times that they were inside of that French 22, they were just terrible when it came to finishing. So, you know, can't blame the ref. AB's stupid mistakes, says Daniel there. And great game, says Finton. And we have got there's France scrum was getting demolished, says 9HD. And that's the commentary. Now go and have a rest. Cheers, mate. Have you ever seen the Munster, Hamish? I have not. Not the Haka. Bad game. And ABs do look like they're building finally, says Rio, over the last few games. The ABs will struggle against Fiji at the moment, says WLK. And of course, next week they have got the Italians, who should not be underestimated because, once again, they're a very strong side, the Italians. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. We will be back tomorrow for the next game that has taken place between Australia and Wales. Thank you all very much for being here, and I will see you all for the next one.